Mrs. H, ready to go to the office?
The office isn't even open yet, Van.
The early bird gets the worm, Mrs. H. That's why I like to go to the office to watch that. Sometimes the worm breaks in half. It's so gross. But it's really cool.
Hey, honey, can I have some money before you go?
For what?
Well, I just have to get a few things.
These things. They wouldn't happen to have high heels, would they?
No, not all of them.
Uh-huh.
So can I have some money?
Oh, God, it's so hard being generous. I just take it all.
Thanks.
Just make sure you write everything down in your expense journal. See you at the office, Mrs. H.
Hi, honey.
Expense journal?
Oh, yeah, that's a system that Van uses to control our money. He enters all of our expenses in the computer and then prints out these little pie charts that he's supposed to go over. But usually, when he sees the pie charts, he decides that he wants pie, so he never does.
And you're okay with that?
Yeah, Van loves pie.
Not that. Him controlling all the money.
Mom, Dad controlled the money when you guys were married.
Yes, and having gone through what I just went through with your dad, I can think of 75,000 reasons that was dumb.
Mom, I really don't think Van is like Dad.
There was a time I used to think Dad wasn't like Dad, but surprise!
Look, I've thought about talking to him, but, you know, money is just one of those issues in our marriage that's just better left not talked about.
Okay, Cheyenne, listen to me. Money is not one of the issues in a marriage. It is the issue in a marriage. It is the issue underneath all the other issues. Honey, a marriage has to have full and honest disclosures.
Mom, my marriage has full and honest disclosure. And besides, I can always lie on my expense journal.
My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I wanna be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops, with gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. I'm a survivor.
Okay, the termite company said we can tent the Hillman house on Wednesday.
Great. Although, you know what has always bugged me about tenting a house, Mrs. H?
What's that?
What if termites love to go camping? Wouldn't it be ironic if they saw a tent going up and they thought they were on this really cool camping trip, and the next thing they know, they're dead? Did you ever wonder about that?
Yeah, Van, I think everybody wonders about that. So, did you write that down in your expense journal?
What?
That decaf latte with a double shot of vanilla. You do write that down in your expense journal, don't you?
Me? No. That's just for Cheyenne. Here's another thing I always wonder about, Mrs. H. What if lobsters love jacuzzis? And just before we drop them to a pot of boiling hot water, they think we're the nicest people in the world. You know what that would be? That would be ironic.
Let's get back to Cheyenne for a second. Don't you worry that your financial system might make Cheyenne feel like a little less than an equal partner?
What? Why would it?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because you don't have to keep an expense journal and she does, and she has to ask for money?
Well, gee, I hadn't thought about that.
Well, something to think about now.
Oh, yeah, I guess maybe it is.
Yeah, you know when you're not so busy thinking how ironic it would be if mosquitoes like those big blue bug lights that kill them.
Huh?
You know, those big blue bug lights that we put outside in the summer. What if bugs liked them? You know, hey guys, party's over here, and then zap!
You lost me.
Oh, you know, like the lobsters.
We keep big blue bug lights out in the summertime to keep the lobsters away?
No, the thing before with the happy dead termites that camp, you know.
Look, Mrs. H, I don't mind if you have a few beers at lunch, but I wouldn't talk to anybody else this afternoon if I were you.
guys been?
Just hanging out.
Jake had detention.
You said you wouldn't tell.
Yeah, Jake, I say a lot of things. Yesterday I told the DMV I weighed 105. Grow up.
So what'd you do?
He had a soda at school. They're banned. I mean, it's the same as if he brought a tomahawk or photographs of buxom women.
So how did you get a soda if they were banned from school?
Kids sell them from their backpacks.
Pushers. On the street, they call them pop daddies.
Thank you, Barbara Jean. I can take it from here.
Sweet Jake. You used to be such a good boy. We miss that good boy. Oh.
Here's what happened.
No. Here's what happened. Your school banned sodas and you had one. That was wrong. Now, if you've got a problem with the rules, you take it up with your principal, but you do not break the rules. Now, you get upstairs and think about what I just said.
Oh, hey, Mrs. H, good you're here. Cheyenne! I thought about what you said about the money thing, and I'm gonna make it right.
Oh, glad I could help.
Hey, honey, how was work?
Oh, great. Hey, well, except for one of the realtors got hammered at lunch, but I covered for her. Anyway, I have something really important to say to you.
Okay, I know what you're gonna say, Van, but they were on sale.
You bought shoes. Good for you.
Okay, well, I put it in the expense journal, put it under asthma medication, but it's in there.
Okay. Forget the stupid expense journal. Look, I realized today that I'm doing things financially that might make you feel that I don't see you as an equal partner.
Oh, honey, that is so sensitive.
It's hard to go through life that way, but I try to carry it with dignity. Anyway, I wanted to show you how much I value you as a wife, a mother, and as a partner. So, I decided to pay you.
What?
Yeah, I worked out in the approximate value of what you do around here, threw in a little extra because you look so hot doing it, and I came up with a weekly paycheck. So here you go.
You figured out my value?
Yeah, you know, stuff like cooking, laundry, daycare, and I didn't include, you know, because that would be illegal.
Why would you think that you could treat me like an employee? Would you think that the money that we make is yours?
I see it's a big old joke, Cheyenne. Man, tell her it's a joke, a big old dumb dangerous joke.
Well, why would I say that? You're the one who told me to do it.
What? You told him to pay me?
No, I didn't say that. I just told him to think about it.
You told Van to think? Are you insane?
What is that? Is that an insult?
Oh.
All right, fine, Cheyenne. I'll answer your question. Yes. I think the money that I make is mine. And why would I think a crazy thing like that? Oh, that's right, because when the paychecks come, they have my name on them.
You know what? I cannot believe that I said that you were sensitive. You're not sensitive, you're a butt. And as for you, Mom, I can't call you a butt because you're my mom. But if you weren't, I would. Except that I won't be talking to you, so I can't. Oh, and Van, these shoes, they weren't on sale, and I bought 2 pair!
Cheyenne! Van, go after her. Tell her you made a mistake.
Oh, I made a big mistake, all right, when I took your advice. That's the last time I listen to you when you're drunk.
Oh, are you talking to me this morning? If you are, I'd sure like a chance to explain what happened. Hi, this is Reba. Leave a message after the beep.
I'm sorry, I've reached a number that I'm not speaking to.
All you had to do is say no.
Cheyenne, I know you're still mad at me, but flushing the toilet when someone's in the shower isn't just mean, it's dangerous. So you're still not talking to me?
Mom,
Oh, you're talking to me now?
actually, I'm just talking to myself out loud. Cheyenne, if Van tries to talk to you, try and figure out a way to let him know that you're not talking to him. Okay, Cheyenne, I will.
Van? It's Van. Nice choice in the wife, you moron.
Reba? It's Reba. How's it working out living in a nut house? Jake, what are you doing home? Aren't you supposed to be on your way to school?
This morning, I was out on the lawn pulling dandelions, nature's beautiful yellow garbage, when I saw my stepson struggling under the weight of his enormous backpack.
What the heck is in there? It wasn't that heavy when you left. Sodas. I don't believe this.
It's not what you think. Sometimes on the way to school, I run into homeless people who really love soda.
Oh, really?
And sometimes they need change for $1.
Okay, we don't have time to talk about this now. We will have a long conversation when you get home from school. Now get.
Reba, a long conversation is not gonna do anything, but I know what will. Military school.
Barbara Jean, I don't need help raising my kids. I've been doing this a long time, and they've all turned out pretty well.
Oh, if someone's talking to me, I can't hear them, especially if they're a big gigantic.
Wear your diapers, you big baby.
So, military school, huh?
Hey, Mr. H, I need some advice.
Advice? You know, Van, I always hoped we'd have a relationship like this. You know, that you'd look at me as a mentor, as a guy that you could come to.
Need it today, Mr. H.
Okay, so what's the problem?
Well, Shine and I had a big fight about money. And she's mad at me because I said I think the money I make is mine. And I need to know how to explain it to her so she'll understand.
Okay, Van. It's time. I'm going to tell you something now, something that all men get told when the time is right. Huh? It is the deepest secret in the fellowship of the husbands. It's the bedrock truth upon which all else sits. It is
Today, Mr. H. Need it today.
Okay, you ready? It's not your money.
What? Don't say it, Mr. H, because if you say it, then there's no hope.
There is no hope, buddy. Wake up, face it.
But the checks have my name written on them.
The checks have your name on them. You're an idiot. All right, look, I'm sorry for being so direct, but the best way is to absorb it all at once. Hey, you okay?
I'm a little nauseous.
Yeah, well, deep breaths, kid. Deep breaths. And I once felt like you. Yeah, back in the day when I also believed whether I was going to play golf that week was my decision. But I found out I was living a lie. You're in a marriage, Van. There is very little mine and yours in a marriage and a whole lot of ours.
But maybe that can change. Maybe it's just that no one's ever tried yet, huh?
There isn't a guy walking out of divorce court that didn't once believe he was the chosen one. No, Van, you have to accept this.
Okay, I can accept it. I can accept that the money I make is also Cheyenne's. I can. But you mean to tell me that I'm not even allowed to say I think it's mine?
And now comes the hope. There is a place where you can do that. It's a wonderful place. Van, I think it's time you learned how to play golf. You're coming with me on Saturday. Yeah.
Go golfing?
Yeah, buddy.
Hello, boys.
Hey.
What's going on?
Oh, we're just shooting the breeze. Hey, listen to this. Van's coming golfing with me on Saturday.
Yeah.
Golf?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so, honey.
Huh?
You know, until we get the situation with the IRS figured out, we need to be more careful with our money. Don't you think?
Yes, of course.
Look, Mr. H.
Just go.
No, hey. If you're talking to me, hello. If you're not talking to me, hello anyway.
I'm no longer mad at you. I discussed this with the people at my meeting, and they suggested that I act with grace and maturity. Oh, shoot! The boss is here. We better look busy. Is that shiny enough for you, Mr. Montgomery, sir? I want to earn my paycheck.
What are you doing?
What does it look like she's doing? She's acting with grace and maturity.
You know, Cheyenne, I don't consider myself your boss, but if I did, your file would have a big red sticker on it that said, bad attitude.
You know what, Van? When we got married, you shouldn't have said I do. You should have said you're hired.
Oh, look at you. You're talking to each other.
I'm going to the golf course.
Okay.
Van, stop. Cheyenne, stop. If you guys aren't in the mood to talk, well, I am. So sit down, shut up, and listen.
She's gonna say it's my fault.
No, she's gonna say it's my fault.
Well, you're both wrong, because it's my fault.
Oh, Mrs. H, I don't blame you. You were loaded.
Look, guys, I think this thing between Brock and the IRS has got me a little nutty in the money area.
Yeah, well, maybe, but it's okay, because you've been under a lot of stress.
I'm gonna tell you the truth, Cheyenne. Where there's money, there will always be stress. Whether you have money or if you don't. It'll always be a large pain in the rear. That's why couples don't want to talk about it. And that's where the trouble starts. And that's what I was trying to prevent.
Nice job.
Don't avoid this issue, guys. It will never go away.
Look, I'm sorry I said I think the money I make is mine, just because I earn it and the checks have my name written on them.
That's not why I got mad, Van. I got mad because I don't make any money. And every time I worry about that, I tell myself that it's okay because I think of all the other things that I do for the family.
Yes, exactly, and that's what I was trying to show you with the check.
Well, you know what? This is gonna sound stupid, Van, but I felt like you devalued everything I do by putting a value on it.
Oh, honey, no. You are the heart and soul of our family. Money we can always find, but you give us something that we can't find anyplace else. You know what that is? Cheyenneism.
You're just saying that.
No, baby, look, I could give up my job, my stuff, my everything. It can all be replaced, but there's something that can never be replaced. You.
Baby. Yeah? Let's try to never fight about money again.
Deal.
Okay.
So, hey,
Yeah.
what do you say we go upstairs and you make a little overtime?
You can't afford me.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Hey,
Mom, I was just going to my room to pray.
well, I already prayed. God wants you to sit. Jake, what were you thinking selling those sodas?
Why am I in trouble for being a good businessman? Do you realize that when I'm a millionaire, this will be the cute story you tell Larry King?
Watch it, Jake. Being dishonest is not funny.
Yeah, well, neither is being poor.
What do you mean by that?
Forget it. What's my punishment?
I'm not going to forget it. What are you talking about?
All everybody talks about around here lately is how we don't have any money. Well, I'm trying to do something about that.
So you were doing all that just for the family?
Yes.
Okay, Jake. Here's your punishment. You have to listen to what I'm going to say right now and remember it for the rest of your life.
Couldn't you just whack me?
Listen to me. Honey, you will have opportunities your whole life to break the rules and to cheat to get money.
Sweet.
Jake. Now, if you take advantage of these opportunities, even if you get the money, you will be poor. You may have a lot of money, but you will be poor. you understand what I'm saying here?
Yes.
Good. Now, you might have to go tell Barbara Jean what you've been up to, because she's really upset.
I already did.
Jake! Delivery time! I also brought candy because I think we are leaving a lot of money on the table by not offering sweets. Crap! Oh, good, Reba, you're here. You want to see Henry's new trick?
Sure, if it means making his mommy disappear.
Well, it looks like somebody already made your manners disappear. Okay, Henry, what do we do when we see a stranger? Yow! Okay.
Barbara Jean, why didn't you warn me that he was gonna do that?
Well, strangers don't get a warning. Strangers only get pain. Ah!
Great. Now, I have bruises on both my shins. Do you know what purple looks like on white skin?
Where are you going?
To get some ice.
The safe word is pickles.
Why do I need a safe word?
Pickles! Good job, sweetie.
Oh, no, Barbara Jean, you've got to leave.
Oh my gosh, is it the supermarket cops? I swear I only ate one frozen burrito.
Why is it that they don't get mad if you eat one grape, but they do if you eat a watermelon?
I'm not.
Okay, look, seriously, Barbara Jean, you got to get out of here because we have a surprise for Mom, and I don't want you to ruin it.
Well, I'm not gonna ruin it. Why would you think I would ruin it? What is it? Can I tell her?
No, Barbara Jean. Look, if you love Mom, you're going to let her have this moment without you.
Well, when you put it that way.
Oh, thank
you know, I'm torn, you
No,
know?
what-
On the one hand, sure, I love your mother, but what does that mean if I'm not here for her in every big moment of her life?
Oh, well, stay.
Reba, they got you a big surprise. They bought you a car. I'm just guessing.
You know what? You sit down and you shut up.
Okay.
You know, Mom, the weirdest thing, you know who I was thinking about the other day? Was that Dr. Morgan?
Oh, really?
Well, Cheyenne, I mean, why would I have to leave, you know, just because you want to talk about Dr. Morgan? I'm so over him. I'm over his warm smile, his kind eyes, his firm, tight buttocks.
Because Barbara Jean, Dr. Morgan and Mrs. H had that intense middle-aged love affair. Oh. Just saying it makes my skin crawl.
So, you ever think about him?
Yes, I have a few fond memories.
Man, flick the porch lights.
What are you guys up to?
I know. Dr. Morgan is outside. You've come back for me!
Barbara Jean. Huh? I'm here to see Reba.
Oh, of course, yeah. Just. Oh, you smell terrific.
Hello, Reba.
Hello, stranger.
Stranger, yeah!
My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I wanna be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids, who never stops, with gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. I'm a survivor.
Sorry about that. I forgot we had an attacked child.
Does it hurt? Do you want me to kiss it and make it better?
Barbara Jean, we've talked about this. You are still married to Brock, aren't you?
I guess. Come on, Henry, let's go home and see Daddy. Same old Daddy who does the same old thing every same old day.
So,
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 do you guys mind giving us a little privacy?
Oh, okay, sure. Privacy. Come on, man, let's go.
I am not leaving him alone with her. Last thing we need in this house is another baby.
Gross, that is my mom. Come on, let's go.
All right. Hey, just because you're a doctor doesn't mean you get to play doctor.
Van, come on.
So that's what's considered good looking? Mm-hmm. Wait till I'm 60.
so you're probably wondering why I haven't called the last couple of months.
Well, I was trying to stay positive. I assumed you were dead.
I know I told you I'd only be in Boston for a month or two, but it turned into a job offer, and some things came up, and well, I struggled with.
Your phone?
Yes, it's way too fancy. It takes pictures, but I don't know how to make phone calls. Although I'm pretty sure that it accepts calls.
Stop trying to get out of trouble by pointing out that I was equally at fault.
There's no excuse. I should have called, and I'm sorry. And believe it or not, I really missed you.
I missed you too.
So I moved back to town, and I was thinking maybe we could start seeing each other again.
Oh, gee, I don't know. You gotta realize how hard it was on me not hearing from you.
I know.
And I don't know if I should give you another chance. I mean, I don't know if I want to risk getting hurt again. But on the other hand, you do smell awfully good.
And you're just smelling me from a distance.
Well, I'm just giving myself a running start.
Well, that was great. Sorry I had to beat you guys so bad.
Well, guys versus girls wasn't exactly fair.
Well, I didn't say it was fair. I said it was great.
Next time it'll be you and me against Cheyenne and Van.
Then I'm not going.
Well, good. Then we won't have to use the bumpers.
Just gonna put the bow and stuff in the closet.
I'll give you a hand. So, people think you're good looking.
Are you hitting on me?
Not me, man. I said people. People. I said people.
Oh, you two seem to be getting along.
I know. Feel like a high school girl trapped in a college girl's body.
Oh, Mom, I am so glad that you're happy. I mean, seriously, for years you have been moping around this house, depressing everyone. Seriously, Van and I were thinking about moving out at one point.
Sorry, dear. I didn't know it was so hard on you.
Yeah, well, you were kind of wrapped up in yourself there. Oh, but Mom, seriously, hold on to this one. I don't want my little cloud of doom coming back again.
So you guys were thinking about moving out?
No, not anymore now that you're happy. She likes you.
I'm gonna take her to the prom.
You know, I really like Cheyenne and Van, but he's a little obsessed with looks.
Oh, they're all vain at that age.
No, he's obsessed with my looks.
Oh. He gets that from me. Plus, Van's a little worried. But if a good-looking guy like you could be divorced, he better behave himself.
Oh, well, that's not technically the case.
Are you telling me you're not handsome?
Oh, I'm handsome. I meant the divorced part.
How's that again?
I mean that my soon-to-be ex-wife just hasn't signed the papers yet. So technically, we're not divorced. You knew that.
No, I'm pretty sure I would have remembered that. So legally, you're still married?
Well, yeah, but it's not like there's some divorce police that are gonna come arrest me. Is there?
This isn't funny. I'm dating a married man.
No, you're looking at this all wrong. You're dating a very soon-to-be divorced man.
But you're still married. Do you know what that makes me? Barbara Jean. I don't want to be Barbara Jean. Barbara Jean doesn't even want to be Barbara Jean.
I'm sorry, Reba. I wasn't trying to hide anything. I can't believe we haven't had this conversation.
I'm Barbara Jean. I am Barbara Jean. Am I turning into tall, blonde, and crazy?
I had no idea this was going to affect you this way. And you know what? I'm going to take care of it. It's time I got it over with anyway.
Oh, no. I don't want to be the reason your marriage is breaking up.
Right, first of all, you're not the reason my marriage is breaking up. And secondly, you'll never be Barbara Jean. I can't say why, but remember, I was her therapist.
You're not Barbara Jean. You are Reba. You're different. You are Reba.
Jeez, Mom, stop talking to yourself. You're sounding like Barbara Jean.
Hey, what you doing?
Whatever I'm doing, you can't relate to because I'm nothing like you. So before you jump to conclusions and start asking what I'm doing, you better look in the mirror because you won't see me. I can tell you that.
Uh-oh. Trouble with Dr. Hunky?
No. And if there was any trouble, I don't want to talk to you about it.
Did you fight? Were you needy? Was there uncomfortable adult touching?
Barbara Jean, you make me want to burn my ears.
Reba, don't let him get away. I really want this to work out for you. Man, I know you've forgiven me, but I've never really gotten over my part in the destruction of your marriage.
Oh, I remember your part. You played Godzilla. I'll get it.
It's a bad feeling being the other woman, Reba. Bad, bad feeling.
Can I help you? Are you Reba Hart?
Yeah.
I'm Cheryl Morgan, Jack Morgan's wife.
Oh, you mean ex-wife.
I mean, wife.
A bad, bad feeling.
Oh. Jack's wife. I don't know what to say.
Never been on this side before, huh, Reba? Cheryl, please come in. Come on.
Why did you invite her in? This is going to be terribly awkward.
But we don't know that. Let's just hear what the woman has to say.
I still love Jack.
Sorry.
Look, Cheryl, I just want you to know that I had no idea your divorce wasn't final when I started going out with Jack.
Hey, you don't have to justify yourself to her. He's a good-looking man, so he's fair game.
I think we can still work it out, which is why I want you to stop seeing it.
Well, that's not gonna happen.
Barbara Jean, just stop it. I want this to be over with.
Well, it's not up to her. It's up to Brock. I mean, Jack. Jack.
She's not speaking for me.
No, I'm speaking for all the other women.
There are more?
Oh, no, not with Jack. I mean figuratively. You know, women who do what we do.
Cheryl, I'm sorry, but I won't see Jack again.
What? Are you out of your mind?
If you keep talking, nobody's gonna see you again.
You know, this wasn't easy for me, Reba. And I hope I don't have to do it again.
Alrighty then. Thanks for dropping by.
Thanks for dropping by.
Well, I told you it was gonna be awkward.
Well, of course it's awkward. It's adultery. Now, all right, Reba, this is not too late to save this, all right? Now, we just call Jack, tell him to come on over here, burst into tears, tell him that she threatened you, and then let him get to second base.
Stop it. I'm not gonna see Jack again.
You were serious?
Oh, absolutely. That was humiliating. I feel horrible. I feel dirty.
That'll pass.
She still loves him.
Well, he doesn't love her.
You don't know that. And I don't think I could be with him if I thought I was gonna hurt somebody the way I was hurt.
Do you love him?
I don't know.
Do you?
Well, I could.
Well, then you need to get off your little pompous high horse and get out there and fight for him.
Oh, of course, you would think that.
Yeah, I do. Reba, this is your one chance for happiness. Just like I was Brock's one chance for happiness.
Do you even know who you're talking to?
Yeah, I do. And as your best friend, I gotta tell you something. Your marriage to Brock was over. Just like theirs is over. Don't lose Jack just because you won't fight for him. Reba, you deserve this.
I need some air.
Reba and a married man? Honest to God, you think you know somebody.
Hey, Brock, you got a minute?
Sure, what can I do you for?
I need to talk to you about your affair.
Oh, good. I was worried we were finally going to talk about something else.
I just found out that Jack's divorce is not quite as final as I thought it was. No reaction?
Not until I figure out which one you're looking for.
I don't know what to do. He says his marriage is over, but his wife says she still loves him.
Well, how do you know that?
She dropped by.
Well, could have been worse. Barbara Jean could have been there.
Okay, look, what I need to know is, if she's willing to fight for him, does their marriage have a chance?
See, Reba, there's no way I can know that. I mean, every situation is different.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Well, Brock, let me ask you this. Would it made a difference if I'd been willing to fight for you?
I don't know.
Crap. Okay.
Reba, I am so sorry. I just talked to Cheryl, and I can only imagine how uncomfortable that was.
Look, Jack, I just need to ask you one question. Do you have any feelings left for her? Because if you do, and if you guys tried...
No.
Are you sure?
I'm sure now.
What the heck did that mean?
Apparently it meant stop me before I kiss you.
No. You're sure now? You became sure after you met me?
Well, I meant it as a good thing.
I told you I didn't want to be the reason your marriage broke up.
You're not.
But you said it was my fault.
Yes. No, you keep saying that.
Then what are you saying?
Nothing. You know, I regret ever talking. Okay, can we just start this over? Wasn't quite the same, was it?
No. Look, I care for you. I really do. But I had the same thing done to me by the person listening on the other side of that counter, and I just can't do it to someone else.
It's not the same thing.
Well, it sure feels like it.
Is there anything I can say? Because I'll say it. I don't want to lose you.
Say you're single.
I will be.
Call me then.
I'll talk to you later. Take care, Barbara Jean.
Kisses! I'm sorry, Reba. I saw him drive over, and I just had to see what was going on.
Oh, that's okay. I probably would have done the same thing. Oh, Lord. Okay, Shane, you can come out too.
God, it was getting hot in there. You okay, Ma?
I guess so. You know, there's an old saying that goes, it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all.
Amen.
Hey, Barbara Jean. You got your message?
Thanks for coming.
Well, you said it was important.
It is. I don't think you should just walk away from Reba. I think you should fight for her. She might be your one chance for happiness.
I don't think I can do that.
Why not?
Because she's not the one I want. You are.
Me?
Come on, you've known it all along. The whole time I was kissing Reba, I was really kissing you.
Damn. Why must all the men in Reba's life desire me?
Isn't it obvious? You're better than she is.
I hate myself for it every day.
Kiss me, Barbara Jean.
I can't.
Okay.
Where are you going? Get back here.
Barbara Jean, what are you doing?
These pillows just aren't as fluffy as they used to be. It's like the same old person sitting on them the same old way every same old day. Hey, guys.
Hey, Barbara Jean.
Here you go, Reba. A little gift.
Oh, looky there. A dartboard.
Ha-ha, Carrot Top. It's just a little something for you to remember me by.
Are we breaking up? What did I do and why didn't I do it sooner?
Reba, we can't joke our way out of this painful situation. Brock is selling our house to pay the debt to the IRS.
What? Why do you have to do that? I thought you guys were getting a second mortgage.
Brock's credit is wrecked. He said the guy at the bank actually taped our application up in the coffee room next to Dilbert.
Selling your house? I don't know what to say. Wish there was something I could do.
There is.
Should have stopped after I don't know what to say.
Reba, buy our house and let us stay, please.
Look, Barbara Jean, I couldn't buy your house even if there was normal people living in it.
Well, I figured it was worth a shot. You could have told me that Brock was a deadbeat before I started sneaking around with him.
God, I hate seeing Barbara Jean sad. It's like looking at a clown without all her makeup on.
Yeah, it's sad. I wish we could help, but we can't.
Yes, we can.
I got to quit saying that.
Look, Mrs. H, when we flipped that house on Fillmore last month, we made a little money. But the big money is owning a rental property. It makes a little money during the month, but it also appreciates. You gotta see the big picture.
Do you know why I keep saying no? Because of this big picture.
Barbara Jean, Barbara Jean, Barbara Jean. You're so sensitive about Barbara Jean. What has she ever done to you? Yeah. She broke up your marriage and stole your husband. Frankly, Mrs. H, if you look at the guy in a harsh light of day, you'll see she did you a favor. Now, I got one word for you. Let it go.
That's 3 words.
Not the way I say it. Say it with me. Let it go. Come on! We're talking about making money here.
Yeah, and I hate to bring human beings in your whole big discussion about money, but Mom, you could actually help them keep their home.
Who? Oh, yeah.
Look, if you don't buy their house, they're gonna have to leave the place that they love. I mean, helping someone keep their home is a huge deal. You know, I work with the homeless.
Yeah, we know. But she does make a good point.
Okay, what are y'all saying? If I'm a good person, I'll do this?
Exactly, and that's what we're trying to appeal to, your good personness. You see, I got the head for business. You got the body.
My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I wanna be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops, with gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. I'm a survivor.
Hey, Mrs. H, the lease is all ready to go. Oh, this is so exciting. I love being a landlord. I love land, and I love being a lord. Hey, when they come in, can we make them bow down to us?
Van, this is not a game.
I was being serious. Kiss the pinky!
Look, I agreed to buy Brock and Barbara Jean's house to help them out, but there's a reason why you don't sell your car to a family member.
Or underwear. Barbara Jean said they were unisex.
Van. I am trying to explain to you why we need to keep this arrangement strictly business. I want to avoid any situation which will make me mad and give me motive to kill.
There's my fairy godmother. Oh, hey, can you turn my husband into a prince?
Nope, he's stuck as a toad.
Very nice. Look, Barbara Jean won't listen to me because, well, she's my wife. But I want to go on record as saying that the two of you buying my house is the worst idea that I've ever heard.
Okay, what he means is thank you.
You don't have to thank us.
Yeah, your deposit check will take care of that.
All you need to do is pay us for the first and last month's rent after you sign the lease.
What? A lease? I mean, we don't need a lease, Reba. We're friends.
Okay, nothing about that statement is correct.
That's because we're the landlords. You're the lowly tenants. But Mrs. H and I have agreed that you don't have to bow or kiss the pinky.
Okay. Yeah, it's starting to sink in. My ex-wife owns my house. Well, she got my first one, might as well have the second.
Reba, would this figure here be the rent?
Yep. Hey, it's a lot less than anything else is going in the neighborhood. I mean, golly, you didn't expect us to let you live there for free, did you?
No. Maybe. Would be nice.
Barbara Jean, this is a business deal, and I want to keep it that way.
Okay, fine. That's the way you want it? Van, can I borrow a pen?
Sure, but you're gonna need to put a deposit down on it. I'm just kidding.
Man, this is how I always dreamed my life would turn out. Yeah, it's a real high point. Hey, maybe tomorrow morning I'll wake up in bed with my mom.
Hard work being a landlord, huh?
I had no idea how demanding tenants could be. Barbara Jean's complaining that her dishwasher's broken and expects me to pay to have it fixed. I got one word for you, Barbara Jean. Paper plates!
Van, that is 2 words.
Let it go!
You know, you sound like some sort of fat cat slumlord.
Fat cat. I like that. I like cats and I like fat.
Van, we have to fix their dishwasher. It's part of being a landlord.
No, it isn't, Mrs. H. Being a landlord is soaking the tenants for every penny so I can sit around, take naps, and go to the gym, which I'm late for, by the way.
Van, you know, your new obsession with money is very unattractive.
Oh, yeah? That might be. But take a look at these hammies.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, right. Wash a dish.
You know, you should go home, take a sock, and shove it down the toilet. See if his hammies can fix that.
So, Reba, listen, Barbara Jean sent me over here to give you the security deposit.
Oh, great. The way she was acting, I thought I was going to have a problem with that.
Yeah, well, here you go.
What's that?
That's the security deposit. It's all in dimes. She said you should count it.
That's insane. I can't drag a bag of dimes to the bank. They'll think I've robbed a fountain.
Oh. Yeah, listen, there's something else. Barbara Jean has decided to fix up the house, and since you're the landlord, it's on your dime. She said I should make sure and say it exactly like that.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go take care of this insanity right now.
Yeah.
Barbara Jean,
Yeah.
we need to talk.
Oh. Hey, Mrs. Roper.
What are you doing?
We're decorating. Which color do you like for the living room? Sand or Parisian ecru?
Which color were you sniffing when you decided I was going to paint your house?
Well, according to the tenants' rights hotline, it is customary for the landlord to repaint every 2 years.
We've only owned the property for a week.
Yeah, well, it's not my fault the previous owners didn't keep the property up.
Why are you doing this?
Why am I doing what? Why am I standing up for my rights? Why am I not letting the man stick it to me?
I'm not the man, and I'm not sticking it to you. And there is no way that Van and I are going to pay for upgrades like wallpaper and paint and... Are you redoing the floor?
Yes. I am making a necessary repair. There's a nick behind the couch.
So you have a nick? And you want me to replace the whole floor?
Yeah, it's a hazard. Henry could snag a sock. Anything could happen. I mean, someone could die.
That's it, Barbara Jean. No floor, no paint, no nothing. And if you ever pay me with a sack of dimes, I will tie that to your feet and throw you in the lake.
You better watch it because I still got some dimes and I don't...
Oh, God! Oh, my ankle! Oh, Barbara Jean, are you okay? Should I call a doctor?
Yeah, but first, call a lawyer, because I'm suing you. I'm so weak.
Hey, when those whiny renters get back from the hospital, can you make sure and tell them that I took care of their petty complaints? And I did it myself, and I saved a few bucks by doing it. Licensed plumber my butt. Plumber butt. Just say no to crack.
Van, you don't know anything about plumbing.
I don't know anything about gas either, but I fixed the furnace. Those people are trouble. I say we evict them.
Van, that's my father you're talking about?
It's all about the poor tenants, isn't it, Cheyenne? Nobody ever thinks about the fat cat landlord. Do they? I'm gonna go get a beer and some fudge.
Hello, Reba. I'm fine. They may have to amputate. But, you know, I can always get a license plate that says Stumpy.
Barbara Jean, the doctor said it was a sprain.
He said it was the kind of sprain he saw all the time in Nam.
You know, Barbara Jean, so Mom isn't the best landlord. I mean, seriously, if Van and I had to pay rent, we would have moved out a long time ago.
Thank you, honey.
Uh-huh.
Look, Barbara Jean, I know you came over here to make me feel guilty, but I don't. I'm sorry you're hurt, but it wasn't my fault.
Well, it isn't up to me to determine who is or isn't at fault, Reba. That is for the judge to decide. Here's your subpoena. I brought it to you myself because I just know how much you love paperwork. Oh, and while you're eating crow, try not to get any on that shirt because I plan to take it right off your back. Good one.
And I got one word for you, Barbara Jean. Let it go.
Mrs. H, guess what?
What?
I hired a private detective to dig up dirt on Barbara Jean. This baby is loaded with character deformation.
You mean defamation?
I mean both.
This lawsuit's ridiculous. I mean, if she's gonna sue me for hurting her, I wish I could get one more crack at it.
Mrs. H, there's no way she's gonna win. We have a secret weapon in the arsenal. Do you know Barbara Jean has been arrested for public indecency 3 times?
Oh. Oh, great. Now you've ruined Oktoberfest for me.
Sorry we're late. We would have been here sooner. Except I can barely walk on my nearly broken leg.
Well, if you're really suffering, we could always put you down.
Makes fun of cripples. Write that down.
Let's just stick to this case for the time being, shall we? Mrs. Hart, Barbara Jean's lawsuit alleges that neglectful conduct has led to the severe sprain of her ankle, affected her time with her child, and led to the demise of her wifely duties.
What does that mean?
Means we're gonna be getting a thank you letter from Brock.
It's time for my pain medication. Why don't you write down that I'm also now addicted to painkillers?
Not for the first time. Right, Barbara Jean?
Are you Reba Hart's lawyer?
I'm Van Montgomery, co-owner of the alleged property, which we graciously allowed this deadbeat renter to continue living in. She would have been out on the street if it weren't for us. Not for the first time. Right, Barbara Jean?
You are not named in the lawsuit, Mr. Montgomery. Mrs. Hart is only suing Mrs. Hart.
What? That's not fair.
Life's not fair, Mrs. H. You're on your own. Bye, guys.
All right, let's get into this. What is your full name?
Reba Nell Hart.
And what's your date of birth?
December the 12th.
19.
19, none of your business. Move on.
And what are your feelings towards Barbara Jean?
What are my feelings? What's that got to do with this case?
I have no idea. Barbara Jean gave me this list of questions. Can't we use my questions now? Or...
No! Question 21. Have you had it in for Barbara Jean ever since she stole your husband so that when you saw the chance to buy her house and cause her financial ruin and humiliation, you did it gleefully? What?
No, that's a crazy question.
It is not a crazy question, just like question 43. Do you sit in your house, which you own, and happily toast your superiority with champagne that you bought with Barbara Jean's rent money?
Okay. First of all, when I'm sitting alone in my home thinking about you, I'm drinking hard liquor! second of all, do you really think I could do that?
Yes, because the only reason you bought our house was to humiliate and punish me.
You asked me to buy it.
Is that true?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
Well, maybe I should just take the bar exam for you too, cowboy, huh? How about that? Yeah. I asked you, Reba, because we needed your help. But you just saw it as a chance to swoop in like a vulture and feast on the dead carcass of our financial ruin.
I have no interest in feasting on your carcass.
You made me sign a lease. Do you have any idea how that made me feel?
Sheltered? Safe?
Terrible. Like I was just a rent check, a dollar sign, instead of the woman who stole your husband and became your best friend.
Barbara Jean, take my word for it. My feelings for you have not changed.
Really?
Yes, I bought the house so you wouldn't be thrown out on the street, and I made you sign a lease so there would be no misunderstandings to get into the way of our
Love for each other?
whatever.
So you really felt bad for us?
How could I not feel bad for you? I mean, you're in such a financial hole that you might never, ever get out of it. As much as I'd like to revel in that, I hate to see you suffer like this.
Really? So when I hurt, you hurt?
If you don't move your hand, you're gonna hurt.
Oh, Reba, I can't sue you. I'm dropping the lawsuit. Oh, Reba, you are a dear, sweet woman.
No,
and you know what? I'm just so happy that I could dance in the streets naked.
Not for the first time, right, Barbara Jean?
How did you get that? God, I thought I burned him. Oh, God. Van, please, Van, where'd you get? Oh, God. I was so young, Van. Oh, God.
Hey, wait a minute. Now I remember you.
Van!
Mrs. H, what are you doing?
I made you some cookies, and look, I wrote your name on this one with some M&Ms.
Wow. I dreamt it and it actually happened. And this time I'm wearing pants. Good cookie. Good freaking cookie.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
A perfect moment. Don't ruin it.
While Van was napping, I made him some cookies.
And milk. Your mother is treating me, well, properly.
So Mom came home from work, saw you asleep on the couch, and instead of whacking you with a spoon, she made you cookies?
Good freaking cookie.
Something Nothing's fishy about this.
Nothing fishy around here. Just a mother-in-law showing a little love.
Yeah, she likes me, Cheyenne.
Oh, I love him. I love him a lot.
Yeah, not just fishy. Sinister.
We're nice to each other. She made me cookies. I lent her my car. My car!
If it makes you feel better, I'm fine.
My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I wanna be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops, with gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. I'm a survivor.
Oh, Rhonda. Your door. Anything but your door.
Look, Van, I'm terribly sorry.
Get away from me, you car wrecker!
Okay, Van, okay, do not overreact. I'm sure it's something that we could very easily fix.
Whoa, not the door. The door's the hardest part to fix.
Oh, man. Van's gonna cry.
I'm not gonna cry. No, I'm not gonna cry. That's fine. But I'll be damned if I let you people see me not cry.
Oh, I better go after him. I've seen him like this before. He writes poetry.
That's perfect. I need a poem for school. Written on a 5th grade level.
Reba, did you do this to Van's car?
It wasn't all my fault. There was a pole involved.
Oh, yeah, and last week when you wrecked your car, there was a fence involved. Now, could it be that you were driving without your glasses again?
You don't live here. Why am I talking to you?
Rhonda, Rhonda. The car I was so fond of. I wish I could fix you with a magic wanda.
Honey, that is beautiful.
Yeah, for a 2nd grader.
Van, again, I am so sorry about Rhonda.
Yeah, well, now I'm gonna have to go rent a Honda.
Reba, if you're gonna drive at night without your glasses, you're gonna have to take other steps.
She wasn't wearing her glasses? Cheyenne, she wasn't wearing her glasses. How rich!
Easy, honey.
No, I'm fine. I mean, why should Mrs. Magoo wear her glasses?
I hate my glasses. They make me look like a grandma. Zip it.
Well, then why the heck don't you just get laser eye surgery?
I don't have time to do something like that.
Well, Reba, you gotta do something because this family is running out of cars.
Mom, you should really think about getting that laser thing done. I mean, it only takes an afternoon. I'd be happy to stay home and look after you.
Or I could look after her while she's blind and defenseless. I'm gonna go read Rhonda a poem.
Will you at least think about getting it done?
I am getting it done, Cheyenne. On Tuesday, I had my consultation today. You want to hear something ironic? The pole that I smashed into today was in the eye doctor's parking lot.
Well, so you're doing it. That's great. Okay, so I'll stay home and take care of you.
No, no, no. No, I don't want anybody to take care of me. I just need a ride there and back, and then I want to be left alone.
Oh, I'm so excited. So are you just getting the eyes done, or are you going to do the bags, too?
Can I do that?
doing so well, Mom. And step, and step.
I know how to walk. I'm not a baby.
Oh, no, you're not. You're a big girl. Yes, you are. So, how long till you can see?
A few hours. The kind of surgery I had is where they don't cut your eyeball. They just scrape it off, so the recovery's a little bit longer. Good Valium. Good freaking Valium.
Okay, I'm gonna lead you to the couch now, all right?
Okay.
It'll be a little trust exercise.
All right.
Oop. Hello? Oh, I'll call you back. Diane! Mom, I'm sorry. Glenn called Jennifer. He is so cute. Okay, I'll help you to the couch. Come on.
No, forget it.
Oh, Mom, are you sure you're gonna be okay? I feel guilty leaving you like this.
Looking forward to some alone time. Go on to the movies. I'll be fine.
Okay, but call me if you need me. I'll have my cell phone, okay? All right. Hello? Oh, no, it was nothing. My mom's just blind and she fell. So tell me everything. Oh, my God! Oh, I'll call you back. Where are you going?
I am totally, like, going in the house. Move, please.
No, you can't go in there.
Why?
Because you can't.
Why?
Well, just because I can't tell you.
Why?
Because Mom got the laser eye surgery and she doesn't want anyone fussing over her.
She's in there? This is perfect. I have a score to settle. A vendetta.
No, Van. No vendettas. Come on. Why don't you just forgive Mom and go to the movies with me, please?
You know what? You're right. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Forgive her. You know why? Because you asked me and I love you.
Oh, baby.
Let me borrow your phone. I'm gonna call ahead for some tickets.
Okay, I'm gonna go get the car.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Barbara Jean, hey. Just want to let you know, Mrs. H is in trouble. I know. But she doesn't want anybody to help her. And I just wanted to call to make sure that whatever you do, you don't sneak over here and make sure she's okay. Bye now. That was for you, Rhonda.
Cup, got me a cup, water. Okay, now I'm hungry. All right, fine, dandy. Sandwich. Where's the bread? Where's the bread? Here? Bread was right here just the other day. I know I put it here. Oh, there it is. Okay, good bread. There you go. Bologna and cheese sandwich. Good. No, peanut butter. Love peanut butter. Jake hid the peanut butter on me. I know he did. God darn it. Was right here. Ah. Right by the bread. That's where it always is. Ah! Good old peanut butter. There you go. I can do this all by myself. I don't need Cheyenne. Knife. Need a knife. Oh, that's a fork. That's a fork. That's a spoon. Ah. Where'd the bread go? Ah. Where's the other piece of bread? Fewer carbs this way. Barbara Jean, what are you doing here?
You can hear.
How did you know I was here? I didn't want anybody to know.
He made me promise I wouldn't say. Brock, no Van. No!
Barbara Jean, I'm gonna say this as nice as I possibly can. Please leave me alone.
Reba, I can't. I saw you in here fumbling around. It was pathetic. I mean, drinking a plant. Reba, let me be your eyes. I'll read to you, and I'll cut up your food, and I'll teach you how to put your makeup on. The right way.
Okay, that's it. I didn't ask you to be here. I don't want you here. Now get out.
Oh, fine. If that's the way you feel about it, I'm leaving. Goodbye, Reba, and good luck.
Barbara Jean, I know you're still here.
All right, fine. I'm leaving.
Barbara Jean.
What?
Get out! Hey! Barbara Jean. Huh. Marco.
Polo.
Barbara Jean! I can't leave you!
Now, since you can't watch TV, I thought that for entertainment, I could read to you.
Read? Why? Just to prove you can?
I chose a classic, Oliver Twist. Okay. Boring, 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 blah, blah, orphan, orphan. Okay, here we go. Please, sir, I want some more. More?
Are you still reading, or did you just pass gas?
Hey, we're back. Oh, look, it's Barbara Jean. I guess we're even. Right, Mrs. H?
Really? Go check the other door.
Oh, I'm real scared.
All right, Barbara Jean, I'll take over from here.
Oh, no, I can't leave yet, Cheyenne. I haven't taught Reba to catch the little ball with a bell in it. Reba, can you hear it? Reba!
All right, you stay here. I'm gonna go get my cell phone from the car. Well, even though Mom didn't want your help, I'm sure you were a very good nurse.
Yeah. You know, as a kid, I always wanted to be a nurse. In the high school talent show, I juggled bedpans. Oh, my book. I left my little Dickens in the house.
Oh, Cheyenne, I'm glad you're back. I couldn't wait to tell you about my day with Barbara Jean. You know, you'd think that having a laser shot in my eye would be the worst part of my day, but it wasn't. Do you have any idea what she did?
No?
Well, she sang to me, and then she read to me.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. In this really bad accent. Now, I usually don't make fun of people's accents, but hers was like, please, sir, may I have more? Oh, man. I was thinking to myself while she was here, why just couldn't I have been deaf, too?
Mom, what'd you say to Barbara Jean to make her cry?
Barbara Jean? Oh, crap.
Oh, honey, maybe she was just kidding around.
She does not have a sense of humor, Brock. Brock, get rid of her. I do not want to talk to her.
Barbara Jean?
No, it's me. Boy, you really can't see anything, can you?
No.
So, listen, Barbara Jean told me what happened between the two of you, and I gotta say, Reba, it sounds like you were a little mean.
Oh, I knew that's what she was gonna say. That's why I came over here, because I just had to give you my side of the story.
Okay, great. What's your side?
Well, for one thing, I made it clear that I wanted to be left alone. But she insisted on staying. You know how annoying she can be. Oh, Brock, don't play dumb with me. You said it just the other day, man, sometimes. Barbara Jean really gets on people's nerves.
No, I never said that. What I said was, that's not the point. Now, look, Reba, if you had seen Barbara Jean's face, I don't think you'd be defending yourself. In fact, I think you'd be apologizing right now.
Nah. On the other hand, nah, nothing.
Wait, no, wait. What were you gonna say? Look, Reba, just pretend that I'm her. Now, what would you say?
Oh, you just tell her.
No, I swear I won't.
Well, I guess I would say to her, I got mad when you tried to help me. Because I hate thinking I might need help. It scares me.
Go on.
Mostly because of the way my life has turned out makes me worry that there won't be anybody around to help me when I really need it. But the truth is, I don't need to worry about that because it looks like I'm always going to have someone there for me. I know you're there, Barbara Jean, so you can hug me now.
Was it because we're just so close you could sense my presence?
No, I can still smell the peanut butter on you.
Oh, Reba, I will never, ever forget what you just said, ever. Oh, honey, I gotta go write this in my diary while it is still fresh in my mind. Oh. And then she turned to me and she said, Barbara Jean, I apologize. You have made my life a garden of orchids.
That was very nice, Reba.
Yeah, I regret it already.
Okay, I get it. You don't want to talk about it. Fine. So how's your eyesight?
Actually, it's pretty amazing. Whoa!
Yeah.
You have gotten old. Van! Wake up. Made you some more cookies.
Really? You're not mad about the whole Barbara Jean thing?
No. Actually, I made these cookies as a peace offering. Forgive and forget. That's me.
Oh. Wait a minute. Forgive and forget isn't you. Your hell hath no fury. You put something in these.
Just double chips. Come on, Van. Either you're going to eat the cookies or you're not. Sooner or later, we have to learn to trust each other again.
Jake, have a cookie.
Cool.
How is it?
Really good.
How'd it go?
Great. I took the cookie you told me to.
passing car seemed to slow down. The sheer absurdity of the statement completely dismantled Brock's towering rage. "What?" Brock stammered, his anger instantly replaced by utter confusion. Barbara Jean turned to Reba, a look of profound disbelief on her face. "Reba, do you honestly think I would let a straight man grab my breasts?" Brock choked on his own breath. "Excuse me, he grabbed your breasts? He is gay." "He was not touching them," Barbara Jean clarified loudly, completely devoid of embarrassment. "He was arranging them. Carry on with your lives." She pushed past a stunned Brock and marched into the house. Brock stood frozen on the porch for a long moment, processing the information. The jealousy and anger vanished, replaced by an overwhelming sense of relief and a creeping tide of embarrassment. He looked at Reba, who offered a small, sympathetic shrug, and then followed his wife inside. Reba took a deep breath of the evening air and stepped inside, hoping the drama had finally concluded. She found Barbara Jean standing in the center of the kitchen, furiously pacing back and forth. "No, Reba," Barbara Jean stated the moment Reba entered, her voice thick with emotion. "Everything is not fine. I had no idea you were so threatened by the new me." Reba stopped, genuinely taken aback. The slim waist, the toned legs, the phallus. The phallus. She paused, confused by the plural noun. "The girls. Oh, the puppies." "I am not threatened by you," Reba said firmly, setting her purse down on the table. "Really?" Barbara Jean challenged, stopping her pacing and glaring at Reba. "Yeah, then why did you go down to the gym? What were you spying on me?" Reba hesitated. Lying was not her strong suit, especially not to someone she grudgingly considered family. "No," she started, then sighed deeply. "Okay. Yes, I went down to the gym because I thought there was something going on between you and Jordan." "Why would you think that?" Barbara Jean asked, her voice cracking slightly, revealing the vulnerability beneath her confident exterior. "Because you have changed," Reba said softly, stepping closer. "I have not," Barbara Jean denied defensively. "Yes, you have," Reba insisted, her tone gentle but unwavering. "Ever since you lost all that weight, you are pushy and obnoxious, and you always want to be the center of attention." She paused, reflecting on her own words, and a small, ironic smile touched her lips. "Hello? I have always been that way." Barbara Jean crossed her arms, looking down at the floor. She kind of got a point there. "Yeah, well, something has changed, Barbara Jean," Reba continued, wanting to get to the root of the issue. "Yeah," Barbara Jean admitted softly, finally looking up, her eyes bright with unshed tears. "The way you guys look at me, I am still the same Barbara Jean I always was. I am just less winded." The sheer honesty of the statement hung in the air between them. Reba felt a sudden pang of guilt. She realized that in her exhaustion and her own unacknowledged insecurities, she had been projecting her frustrations onto Barbara Jean's success. "I know she might be right," Reba admitted slowly, feeling the weight of the realization. "Could be us." Brock, who had been lingering quietly in the hallway, stepped into the kitchen. His face was soft, stripped of its usual bravado. "I am sorry, honey. Reba just got me all worked up. That is." He stopped, realizing blaming Reba was the wrong move. "Look, Barbara Jean, the truth is I think I went down to the gym almost hoping that I would find you doing something wrong." Barbara Jean looked at him, deeply hurt. "You know, anything, so I could feel superior to you and your skinny butt. So, I am sorry." "Sorry," Barbara Jean repeated, her voice trembling. "Yeah," Brock said softly, reaching out to gently touch her arm. Suddenly, a massive, radiant smile broke across Barbara Jean's face, completely banishing the tears. She clapped her hands together joyfully. "This is great. For the first time since we have known each other, you want to be me." Reba groaned inwardly, realizing the lesson had completely bypassed its target. I do not want to be you. I know, Barbara Jean squealed, twirling around in a circle. It is even better. You want to look like me. She grabbed her gym bag and practically floated toward the back door. Hey, where are you going? Brock called after her. Just going to go grab something to eat, Barbara Jean chimed happily. I will see you next year. Reba watched the door swing shut, shaking her head in a mixture of exhaustion and amusement. She turned toward the living room, seeking a moment of peace. She found Ben sitting on the floor, staring blankly at the television screen. Hey, buddy, Reba said, sinking onto the sofa beside him. What are we watching? No, we are not, Ben replied smoothly, not taking his eyes off the screen. Want a rock, paper, scissor for it? Reba smiled, feeling a sudden surge of affection for the boy. Let us go. She held out her fist. You are going to pick scissors, are not you? Ben asked suspiciously. Get out, Reba laughed, ruffling his hair. Upstairs, a different kind of resolution was taking place. Van walked into his bedroom, looking for his wife. He found Cheyenne standing in front of the full-length mirror, staring critically at her reflection. Hey, honey, Van said warmly, stepping up behind her and wrapping his arms around her waist. Hey, baby, I need to talk to you. Cheyenne sighed heavily, resting her head back against his chest. Oh, honey, I just got the television. Well, Cheyenne began, her voice hesitant and filled with a rare vulnerability. I started thinking that maybe you do not think of me as new pretty because I do not do enough to keep your interest. Van's grip tightened slightly. No, honey, you were way hot. Guilty. Cheyenne turned in his arms, her eyes searching his face for reassurance. But anyway, I thought that maybe I should, change my look every now and then just to keep things fresh. So, I bought a wig. She gestured toward a box resting on the dresser. Van looked at the box, then back at his beautiful wife. He felt a sudden, profound rush of love and protectiveness. The entire house had been infected by this strange disease of comparison and vanity, and he realized he needed to cure his wife immediately. He gently took her hands in his. Cheyenne, put that down. Listen to me. I think it is a good thing that when I look at you, I do not see the beautiful girl with the killer bod. I see my wife, and I am attracted to her whether she is all dressed up, ready to go out or just sitting on the couch wearing those washed-up flannel pajamas. Cheyenne looked at him, her eyes shining. Really? Yeah, Van said softly, his voice thick with genuine emotion. You are beautiful to me because of who you are. Cheyenne smiled, a small, tearful smile that illuminated her entire face. Ah, I feel kind of stupid. Van laughed gently, leaning down to kiss her forehead. That is also who you are, and I love it. Come on, you. Where are we going? He took her hand and gently led her toward the bedroom door. Oh, we are going upstairs. Cheyenne paused, a playful glint returning to her eyes. Hold on. I thought you did not want me to leave you alone. Van pulled her close, his voice a low, teasing whisper. Sometimes I want to feel new pretty. That woman is out of control. She is like a locust. She has eaten everything in the house. She has eaten everything in Mr. H's house. Look, even the salt and pepper shakers are empty. Why do not you just tell her she has eaten too much? You tell her. No, you tell her. Rock, paper, scissors. Ben, you know you are going to lose. Not this time. 1, 2, 3. Dang it. How do you always beat me? Because you always pick scissors. Of course I do, it is my system. So you will tell her? Yeah, fine. No, I do not want to. You tell her. Come on, you tell her. Please, please, please. No, Ben, why should I tell her? Because girls can say that kind of stuff without having to come across like all they care about are looks. By the way, you have been looking hot lately. Oh, you. Look, sweetie, why did not I tell her? Thank you. Hey, hey, hey. Guess who Luigi gave the free pizza to? Luigi does not have to roll it out of the bed every morning. You know, Mom, we really do not need another pizza. I mean, it is really just the three of us. A sudden surge of inadequacy. You should see them naked in the shower. She finally spotted her target over in the free weight section. Barbara Jean was lying on a padded bench, laughing at something a tall, impeccably built man was saying to her. As Reba approached, she noted the man's blindingly white smile, his perfectly coiffed hair that somehow defied the physics of sweat, and the sheer volume of muscle packed into his sleeveless shirt. This had to be Jordan. Oh, hey, Reba. You came. Barbara Jean beamed, sitting up quickly and waving her over. Yeah, Reba said, offering a tight, cautious smile. Hey, the muscular man said, turning his $1,000,000 smile toward Reba. Jordan. Hey, Reba replied curtly. Ready to start, Barbara Jean? Jordan asked, turning his attention back to his client. Yeah, Barbara Jean giggled, adjusting her bright pink workout top. Hey, you look great in that outfit, Jordan complimented, his tone smooth and effortless. Barbara Jean blushed, swatting playfully at his enormous bicep. Oh, well, you know, the other woman is getting kind of baggy. Reba crossed her arms, watching the interaction with growing suspicion. Can you believe her? She thought to herself. She did the impossible. She lost all that weight and kept these fellas. Barbara Jean suddenly remembered her manners and gestured enthusiastically between the two. Okay, Jordan. Jordan, this is my friend, Reba. Hey, I am Jordan. I am Reba. So, you going to join us, Reba? Jordan asked, his enthusiasm bordering on theatrical. Reba took a step back, her eyes darting nervously toward the intimidating equipment. Oh, I do not know. I just think that me and my fellows will just watch for a while. Well, Reba, you are not going to get into shape by just watching, Jordan insisted, stepping closer and flashing that perfectly white smile again. You need to sweat a little. Reba held her ground, refusing to be bullied into physical exertion. Yeah, but you guys got to understand, it has been a while since I have been in a gym like this, and I do not think. Hello, there, Jordan interrupted, suddenly reaching out and placing his large hands firmly on Barbara Jean's waist, guiding her gently back down onto the bench. Reba watched in silent horror as Jordan began to stretch Barbara Jean's legs. The movements were fluid, professional, but to Reba's untrained and suspicious eye, they looked deeply, shockingly intimate. Barbara Jean, you really are getting limber, Jordan praised, lifting her leg high into the air. Remember when you could not put your leg over my head? He asked smoothly. Remember when I did not want to? Barbara Jean replied, laughing brightly. Reba's jaw dropped. She felt the blood rush to her face, scandalized by the entire display. Is that legal? I mean, necessary? She stammered, stepping closer, ready to intervene if needed. Jordan did not even look up, completely focused on the stretch. It is critical to stretch the muscles out before you exercise them. Yeah. Otherwise, you could really hurt something. He smoothly transitioned the stretch, prompting Barbara Jean to roll over onto her stomach. Turn over, he instructed gently. Barbara Jean complied, turning her head to look at Reba. Reba, you need to watch this one. This one is my favorite. Reba watched, her horror compounding, as Jordan knelt beside the bench, placing his hands firmly on Barbara Jean's lower back. All right, now this gives a good stretch to the back and chest muscles, he explained, pressing down with calculated pressure. Really should do this once a day. Barbara Jean let out a contented sigh. Oh, I would do it all day if I could. Reba could not take it anymore. The atmosphere, the stretching, the blatant flirting. It was all too much. She fanned herself with her hand, feeling genuinely overheated. You know, is this one of these gyms that has the heat on real high? I am sweating. Okay. Jordan finally released the stretch and stood up, clapping his hands together briskly. Oh wow, time for some weightlifting. Reba exhaled a massive sigh of relief. Oh good, that is enough of that stretching. Hello. Okay, knock this out. Yeah, okay, all right. She watched them move toward the heavy weights, realizing she had seen more than enough to confirm Brock's worst fears. The intimacy, the physical contact, the absolute adoration in Barbara Jean's eyes when she looked at the man. It was a disaster waiting to happen. You know, I think I have seen enough, Reba announced, grabbing her purse and preparing to flee the building. Jordan paused, wiping down a barbell. So, what do you think? You have any interest in getting a personal trainer? Reba looked at him, mustering her best glare. Only if he takes me out to dinner first. Are you sure, Reba? Barbara Jean asked, looking genuinely disappointed. Seriously, this is one of the best relationships I have ever had. Reba felt a pang of sympathy for Brock. Oh, I think Jordan has his hands full with you. Oh, you are a beginner, Reba? Jordan noted smoothly, dismissing her comment. You will start with Dot. Yeah. A woman who looked like she could comfortably bench press a small pickup truck jogged over. Her muscles had muscles, and her expression was terrifyingly serious. This is Reba, Jordan introduced smoothly. She seems a little tense. I would spend some extra time on the stretching. Dot looked Reba up and down, a predatory gleam in her eye. Hey, get down there. Reba turned and practically sprinted for the exit, not stopping until she was safely inside her car in the parking lot. The drive home was a blur of righteous indignation and anxiety. How was she going to break this to Brock? He was already fragile. This news might entirely break him. When she finally pulled into the driveway, she found Brock pacing a trench into the front lawn. He rushed to her car before she had even turned off the engine. So, did you see him? Brock demanded, his voice tight with panic. What is he like? Is he little? Could I take him? Reba got out of the car, shutting the door heavily. She looked at her ex-husband, taking in his anxious, slightly desperate demeanor. He is big, but he is not as big as Dot. Brock frowned, completely confused. So, what do you think? Is there something going on there? Reba sighed, walking slowly toward the front door. Look, Brock. I was hoping that I could go down to the gym and check things out and come back and tell you that there is nothing to worry about. But Brock stopped dead in his tracks, his worst fears confirmed. That is it. Reba, come on, he pleaded, trailing behind her like a lost puppy. Reba stopped on the porch and turned to face him, her expression grim. Okay, I do not know if they are having an affair or not, but if they keep working out like that, they might be having a baby. Brock staggered back as if he had been punched in the chest. His face turned a dangerous shade of red. Man, I knew there was something going on. Before Reba could try to calm him down, the sound of a cheerful engine approaching announced Barbara Jean's arrival. She pulled into the driveway, hopped out of her sleek car, and bounded up the walkway, radiating post-workout endorphins. Hey, everybody, Barbara Jean sang out, oblivious to the thunderous storm brewing on the porch. I am here, and I am saying well. Oh, hi, honey, Brock said, his voice dripping with venomous sarcasm. Barbara Jean stopped, her smile faltering. Do not you hi honey me. Brock took a step toward her, his posture aggressive and hurt. What are you talking about? Oh, man. Did you honestly think that I would not find out about you and Jordan? Barbara Jean's eyes widened in genuine shock. What? We were working out. It was perfectly innocent. She turned desperately toward Reba. Reba, tell him what you saw. Reba held up her hands, backing away slowly toward the safety of the front door. I do not want to get involved. She said you are having an affair, Brock accused, his voice rising in volume, echoing down the quiet suburban street. Any more than I already am, Reba muttered softly to herself, watching the train wreck unfold. Okay, Jordan and I are not having an affair, Barbara Jean stated firmly, crossing her arms. She looked at Brock, her face a mask of exasperation. He is gay. The words hit the air and seemed to freeze time. The crickets stopped chirping. He spotted his wife and his face instantly brightened, though a shadow of insecurity lingered in his eyes. Oh, hey, Barbara Jean. Here you are, Brock said, his tone overly casual. Listen, how would you like to go out and grab a quick lunch? Just the two of us? Barbara Jean checked the sleek, modern fitness watch on her wrist. Oh, honey, I cannot. I am going to the gym. Brock's face fell, the forced smile crumbling. Well, cannot you skip it just this once? Come on. I will take you to that romantic French place you like so much. Barbara Jean let out a light, musical laugh that sounded entirely foreign to everyone in the room. Really? Skip the gym and eat French food? No confondu bras. With a cheerful wave, she practically skipped out the back door, leaving a cloud of floral perfume and utter bewilderment in her wake. Brock stood motionless for a long moment, staring at the closed door. He slowly turned to Reba, looking like a man whose world was crumbling beneath his feet. Man, she blew me off again. All she wants to do is go down to the gym and spend time with Jordan, her trainer. Exactly, Reba replied, taking another microscopic sip of her fruit gravy to avoid meeting his pathetic gaze. Frankly, I like the new butt, but the new attitude, not so much, Brock complained, his voice whiny and filled with self-pity. Reba scoffed loudly, unable to restrain herself. Oh, that is really funny coming from the old butt. Brock ignored the insult, too consumed by his own paranoia. Jordan is so great. Jordan is so toned and funny. Well, I got news for you. Nobody is toned and funny. Rob, you are overreacting, Reba said, leaning against the counter. She felt a sudden, profound exhaustion. Dealing with her own life was hard enough. Managing her ex-husband's midlife insecurities was a task she had not signed up for today. Oh, really? Brock challenged, pacing back and forth across the kitchen floor. Yeah, I think she might be having an affair with this guy. Barbara Jean with her trainer? I mean, sure, he is probably a better man than you are, better looking and younger. But... He stopped pacing and planted himself firmly in front of Reba, looking at her with a desperate, pleading expression that she knew all too well. It was the look he gave her right before asking for a monumental favor that would undoubtedly end in disaster. That is it, Brock declared, slapping his hands against his thighs. Reba, I need you to help me out. I want you to go down to the gym and see if there is anything going on. You know, spy on him for me. Reba recoiled, her eyes flashing with instant indignation. No way, you know. Barbara Jean may have a long list of faults, and I have that list if you need a copy. But she is nothing if not faithful. Yeah, right? Brock scoffed, running a hand through his thinning hair. Up until now. But now that she is thin and hot, she has all kinds of options. Reba sighed, setting her smoothie glass down with a definitive thud. Look, Brock, if it is worrying you that much, be honest with her. Tell her how you feel. Tell her that you just need a hug every now and then. Brock stared at her, processing the advice. Slowly, a smirk spread across his face. Oh, now there is a great idea. See? Why, since my competition is a macho, muscular dude, I should go the other way and appear all weak and whiny. He turned away in disgust, muttering under his breath. Your solutions are ridiculous, Reba. Makes me to spy on those. Stupid. He kicked at the base of the cabinets, acting like a petulant child denied a toy. Reba massaged her temples, feeling the beginnings of a migraine taking root. She picked up her green smoothie and stared at it. Hard to believe they are supposed to be good for you. An hour later, Reba was sitting on the front porch, the cool breeze offering a slight reprieve from the oppressive heat of the day and the suffocating drama inside the house. She had abandoned the smoothie after 3 sips, determining that health was not worth the torture of consuming liquid lawn clippings. Van stepped out onto the porch, looking slightly subdued. "Hey, Mrs. H, you off for your power walk?" "No," Reba sighed, remaining seated. "I am not going for my power walk. This whole physical thing is getting everybody acting wacko." Van nodded slowly, sitting on the step below her. He looked out across the manicured lawns of the neighborhood, a pensive expression on his face. "Man, I love old people. Power walking, moving along, swinging their arms, like there is a big sale for false teeth." Reba ignored the commentary, too exhausted to correct him. "What do you mean?" she asked, steering the conversation back to the madness inside her home. "Well," Van started, picking at a loose splinter on the wooden step. "Your dad thinks that the guy who gave Barbara Jean her new body is wanting to take a forespin. He probably does." Reba looked at him, genuinely surprised by his blunt assessment. "What are you talking about?" Van turned to face her, his expression unusually serious. "Guys are pigs. They are dogs. They are all animals. They just care about hot women. They are hot dogs. My point is that when you got a hot lady, you got to keep your guard up at all times." "I used to," Reba murmured softly, her thoughts momentarily drifting back to the years when she and Brock were young and wildly in love, before the complications of life, career, and dental hygiene conventions had torn them apart. Van panicked, realizing his words had struck a sensitive chord. "You used to? No, baby, do not take it like that. It is just that I have grown into a mature, stable individual. That is all." Before Reba could respond, Cheyenne stormed out onto the porch, her face flushed with anger and frustration. She glared at her husband, her arms crossed tightly across her chest. "Well, I do not like it," she declared vehemently, before turning on her heel and marching back inside, slamming the screen door behind her. Van jumped up, looking completely bewildered. Where have you been?" he called out to the empty doorway. "I went to get something to eat." Reba watched him follow his furious wife inside, shaking her head. The entire household was losing its collective mind over Barbara Jean's weight loss. Later that afternoon, Reba found Ben sitting on the floor of the living room, meticulously arranging a set of action figures. He seemed to be the only person in the house unaffected by the sudden storm of vanity and insecurity. "So, Ben," Reba asked, sitting on the edge of the sofa and watching him play, "you think that Brock might be right about this trainer?" Ben paused his game, considering the question with the solemnity of an old sage. "Sure, this guy could be hot for Barbara Jean, but since Barbara Jean is not looking to play, there is no problem, and it is obvious Barbara Jean is not looking." Reba raised an eyebrow, impressed by his analytical skills. "Why is this obvious?" "2 reasons," Ben stated, holding up 2 fingers. "Barbara Jean is not good at keeping secrets, and she thinks of you as her best friend. If she were fooling around with this guy, she would be constantly talking about him to you. Heck, she would probably even want you to meet him." The words hung in the air, echoing in Reba's mind. She would probably even want you to meet him. A sudden realization hit her like a physical blow. Barbara Jean had practically begged her to come to the gym and meet Jordan just a few hours ago. Reba stood up so quickly she startled Ben. "Meet him? Oh, where are you going?" "Go down to the gym with the rest of the wackos," Reba muttered, grabbing her purse and keys from the hall table. "All right," Ben called after her cheerfully. "Well, keep those arms a-swinging." The atmosphere inside the elite fitness center was an entirely different universe from Reba's comfortable, chaotic living room. The air smelled of expensive rubber floor mats, citrus-infused cleaning supplies, and the intense, focused perspiration of dozens of highly motivated individuals. Bright, unnatural light bounced off rows of polished chrome machinery and massive mirrors that lined every wall. Reba stood near the entrance, feeling completely out of place in her casual denim and comfortable shoes amidst a sea of neon spandex and perfectly engineered athletic wear. She clutched her purse tightly to her side, scanning the expansive room for the familiar, albeit smaller, shape of Barbara Jean. Man, there is a lot of beautiful people around here, she muttered to herself, feeling, I am very healthy. But even as she said the words, she knew they rang hollow. It was time for a change, a real monumental change. Before the conversation could evolve, a commotion at the front door drew their attention. Brock stood there, his face pale, his arms waving frantically as if trying to ward off an invisible swarm of bees. Behind him, a figure was approaching. All right, that is it, Mrs. H., Brock pleaded, stepping backward into the house. Drop it, Mrs. H. Drop it, drop it, drop it. He continued to chant the command, sounding like a frantic dog trainer dealing with an overly enthusiastic golden retriever. Drop it, Monsieur H. I cannot stand to see you do this to yourself. It is like you are trying to eat yourself to death. Why? He finally stopped retreating, standing near the living room sofa, his chest heaving. He looked at the doorway and for the first time, the rest of the family saw what had him so distressed. Or rather, they saw what was missing. What happened to you? Brock whispered, his voice trembling with a mixture of shock and utter bewilderment. What is different? A bright, almost blindingly cheerful voice rang out from the foyer. Yoo-hoo, I am here, and I am thin. Barbara Jean stepped into the light. The room collectively gasped. The woman who stood before them was a fraction of her former self. Her clothes hung differently, her posture was radically altered, and her face beamed with an astonishing level of self-satisfaction. She had undergone a transformation so profound it seemed almost magical. Van, never one to filter his thoughts, blurted out, Yeah, thin is a stick, and dumb is one. Cheyenne elbowed him sharply in the ribs. Yikes! Brock was still staring, his eyes wide. What is eating Cooper grape? Look at that. They look like the number 10. Reba, overwhelmed by the sudden and dramatic shift in her reality, closed her eyes tightly. Oh, thank God it was just a nightmare, she murmured to herself, hoping that when she opened them, the old, familiar world would return. But the cheerful voice echoed again, shattering her hopes. Yoo-hoo, I am here, and I am thin. And the nightmare continues, Reba muttered, feeling a headache beginning to bloom behind her eyes. As she looked at Barbara Jean, a familiar tune began to play in her mind, an anthem of resilience that she relied on during times of intense stress. My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I want to be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops. With gentle hands and the heart of a fighter, I am a survivor. The next morning, the sun brought no relief, only a fresh wave of determined chaos. Reba stood at the kitchen counter, the whir of the blender drowning out the usual morning chatter. She was tossing handfuls of kale, spinach, and obscure berries into the glass pitcher, her face set in an expression of grim resolve. Ben trudged into the kitchen, rubbing his eyes. The smell of freshly baked flour and syrup was conspicuously absent. Mom, make us some pancakes, he requested, his voice thick with sleep. Reba did not even look up from her concoction. No, I am making everyone a power smoothie. And this afternoon, I am taking a power walk. Van entered just in time to hear the dreadful announcement. He recoiled as if he had been struck. Power walk? Oh, forget your power cane. Cheyenne glared at her husband. Van, that is not nice. Mom does aerobics. She could shatter her hip? Van pointed out, a genuine look of concern on his face. He leaned against the counter, eyeing the green sludge in the blender with deep suspicion. Reba stopped the blender, the sudden silence heavy and threatening. She turned slowly to face her son-in-law, her eyes narrowing. And yet, in the blink of an eye, I can make you both homeless. Van swallowed hard, instantly regretting his commentary. Before he could apologize, the front door chimed with a familiar, terrifyingly energetic rhythm. "Hey, everybody," Barbara Jean announced, sweeping into the kitchen like a sudden gust of wind. She was dressed in matching, vibrant athletic wear that clung perfectly to her newly transformed figure. "I am here and I am." "Oh, shut up and have a donut," Reba snapped, sliding a small plate holding a single, glazed pastry across the counter. Barbara Jean looked at the donut as if it were a venomous snake. She gasped dramatically, placing a hand over her heart. "Oh, Reba, you are not still trying to lose weight by drinking those power smoothies, are you? Jordan, my trainer, says that those are loaded with hidden carbs." Reba gripped the edge of the counter, her knuckles turning white. "Barbara Jean, I am all for adopting a healthy new lifestyle. But seriously, I mean, there has to be some sort of..." She trailed off, noticing Van's gaze. He was staring unblinkingly at Barbara Jean, a piece of half-eaten toast forgotten in his hand. "Will you stop staring at her?" Reba demanded. "What?" Van blinked, snapping out of his trance. "We have been staring at her for, like, the past 2 hours. Cheyenne sighed, a hint of melancholy in her voice. "Well, she is pretty." Barbara Jean practically glowed. "I am pretty." Reba rolled her eyes, exhausted by the sudden influx of vanity. "Well, of course you are. You have always been pretty. But she is new pretty." "Oh, Van," Cheyenne muttered, turning away from her husband. "That is such a funny story you can tell to your next wife." Van panicked, realizing he had crossed an invisible, highly dangerous line. He rushed to his wife's side. "Van, you really think that I am new pretty?" Barbara Jean interrupted, fishing for more compliments. "Oh, yeah," Van said, trying to recover his footing. He looked at Barbara Jean, searching for the right comparison. "You are like a bleached-out Halle Berry." Barbara Jean beamed, taking the comparison as the highest form of praise. "Thank you." "You are welcome," Van said, retreating hastily toward the hallway. "I am going to go make some calls." Cheyenne watched him leave, a complex mixture of emotions playing across her face. Barbara Jean, oblivious to the marital tension she was causing, leaned across the counter toward Cheyenne. "So, Barbara Jean," Cheyenne started hesitantly. "Yeah? Is it true that when you lose a bunch of weight, you want to do, bounce? Ka bounce." "Van!" Reba shouted toward the hallway, recognizing the source of Cheyenne's bizarre terminology. Van poked his head back around the corner, looking guilty. "Oh, Cheyenne, do not be upset. You are still hot. You are like a bleached-out Jan Brady. January Jan Brady." Cheyenne buried her face in her hands. "I am Marcia. Marcia, Marcia, Marcia." Barbara Jean clapped her hands together, eager to change the subject back to her favorite topic, herself and her new lifestyle. "So, Reba, I got an idea. You should come down to the gym and meet Jordan, my trainer. Seriously, he will change your life. I mean, he is so much more than a personal trainer. He taught me how to work out and eat right." She sighed dreamily, gazing up at the ceiling. "We go over the clothes I am going to wear, the movies I am going to see." Reba stopped wiping the counter, the dish rag pausing midway across the granite surface. "Whoa, the movies you are going to see? What has that got to do with you getting in shape?" "Oh, nothing," Barbara Jean chirped, completely unbothered by the boundary-crossing nature of her relationship with her trainer. "We just have the same sense of humor. That Tim Allen just kills us. I mean, whether he is playing a dog or Santa Claus, you just buy it. So, you will come meet Jordan." "No," Reba answered flatly. leaving absolutely no room for negotiation. "Oh, come on, Reba," Barbara Jean pleaded, pouting slightly. "I want my best girlfriend to meet my best boyfriend." Boyfriend? Oh, whoops, that came out wrong. Reba stared at her, her eyebrows raised so high they threatened to disappear into her hairline. "Oh, well, thanks anyway, but I am just going to be here with my smoothie." She poured the thick, green liquid into a glass and took a tentative sip. Her face immediately contorted in revulsion, but she forced herself to swallow. Delicious, just like fruit gravy. Just then, Brock wandered into the kitchen, looking as lost and unsettled as he had the day before. "You're going to pick scissors, are not you?" "Get out," Van ordered, pointing toward the stairs. The boy grumbled, turning around and trudging out of the room. Van leaned back on the couch, rubbing his tired eyes. The silence was broken by the sound of footsteps coming down the stairs. "Hey, honey," Shine called out softly. "Hey, baby," Van replied, not taking his eyes off the dark television screen. "I need to talk to you," she said, her voice trembling slightly. Van sighed, reaching for the remote. "Oh, honey, I just got the television." "Well, I started thinking that maybe you do not think of me as new pretty because I do not do enough to keep your interest," Cheyenne confessed, stepping into the dim light of the living room. Van turned his head to look at her. "No, honey, you were way hot. Guilty." "But anyway," Cheyenne continued, her voice gaining a little confidence, "I thought that maybe I should, change my look every now and then just to keep things fresh. So, I bought a wig." Van stared at her. She was wearing a bright, neon pink wig that clashed horribly with her complexion. It sat slightly crooked on her head, completely obscuring her beautiful, natural hair. He stood up slowly, walking over to her. He reached out, gently grasping the edges of the ridiculous plastic hairpiece. "Cheyenne, put that down." He pulled the wig off her head, tossing it carelessly onto an armchair. He looked deeply into her eyes, his expression serious and overflowing with an emotion he rarely showed so openly. "Listen to me," Van said softly, his hands resting on her shoulders. "I think it is a good thing that when I look at you, I do not see the beautiful girl with the killer body. I see my wife." Cheyenne looked up at him, a single tear escaping down her cheek, but this time, it was not from sadness. "And I am attracted to her whether she is all dressed up, ready to go out or just sitting on the couch wearing those washed-up flannel pajamas," Van continued, his voice thick with sincerity. Cheyenne sniffled, a small smile breaking through her tears. "Really?" "Yeah," Van nodded, pulling her into a warm, tight embrace. "You are beautiful to me because of who you are." Cheyenne rested her head against his chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart. "Ah, I feel kinda stupid." Van chuckled, resting his chin on the top of her head. "That is also who you are, and I love it." He pulled back slightly, taking her hand in his. "Come on, you. Where are we going?" Cheyenne looked at him, her eyes sparkling with a renewed sense of confidence and love. "Oh, we are going upstairs." Van grinned, pretending to resist as she pulled him toward the staircase. "Hold on. I thought you did not want me to leave you alone." Cheyenne paused on the bottom step, looking back at him with a mischievous, breathtaking smile. "Sometimes I want to feel new pretty." They walked up the stairs together, leaving the chaotic, wonderful, ridiculous day behind them. In the quiet darkness of the house, the empty pantry and the ridiculous green smoothies no longer mattered. All that mattered was the steady, undeniable truth that despite the misunderstandings, the jealousies, and the occasional neon pink wig, they were completely, perfectly okay exactly the way they were. The morning sun struggled to pierce through the heavy curtains of the living room, casting long, dramatic shadows across a space that usually vibrated with the chaotic energy of a large family. Today, however, the atmosphere was thick with a different kind of tension. It was the tension of a depleted pantry. Van stood in the center of the kitchen, staring into the gaping void of the refrigerator. The cooling light illuminated his expression of sheer disbelief. Beside him, young Ben stood on his tiptoes, peering over Van's arm, his eyes wide with a mixture of awe and hunger. The shelves, usually groaning under the weight of leftovers, fresh produce, and an excessive amount of dairy products, were barren. "That woman is out of control," Van whispered, the sheer gravity of the situation pulling the words from his lips. He slowly closed the refrigerator door, the gentle click sounding like a thunderclap in the quiet kitchen. "She is like a locust. She has eaten everything in the house." Ben nodded solemnly, his young face painted with genuine concern. "She has eaten everything in Mr. H's house, too. Look," he said, pointing a small finger toward the center island where a pair of elegant glass shakers sat. "Even the salt and pepper shakers are empty." Van leaned closer, squinting at the glass containers. Sure enough, not a single grain of white or flake of black remained. It was a culinary wasteland. He sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. "Why do not you just tell her she has eaten too much?" Ben immediately took a step back, his hands raised in surrender. "You tell her." "No, you tell her," Van countered, his voice rising an octave in sudden panic. Approaching a ravenously hungry woman was not in his daily survival plan. "Rock, paper, scissors. Ben, you know you are going to lose." Ben squared his shoulders, accepting the challenge with the bravery only a young boy facing starvation could muster. Not this time. They faced each other, fists resting in their palms. 1, 2, 3, they chanted in unison. Van extended his index and middle fingers. Ben proudly displayed a flat palm. Paper against scissors. The outcome was clear. "Dang it!" Ben exclaimed, dropping his arms in defeat. "How do you always beat me?" Van smirked, a momentary distraction from the impending starvation. "Because you always pick scissors." "Of course I do, it is my system," Ben grumbled, crossing his arms. He looked up at the older boy with pleading eyes. "So you will tell her?" Van S' triumphant smile vanished. He realized the trap he had just sprung on himself. "Yeah, fine," he muttered, his voice lacking any real conviction. Then the reality of the task hit him. "No, I do not want to." "You tell her," Ben insisted, sensing his opponent's weakness. "Come on, you tell her. Please, please, please." "No, Ben, why should I tell her?" Van argued, desperately searching for an escape route. He grasped at the first logical thread he could find. "Because girls can say that kind of stuff without having to come across like all they care about are looks." He paused, his eyes shifting slightly as a thought crossed his mind. He looked at the doorway where Cheyenne had just appeared, her hair slightly tousled but radiant as always. "By the way," Van said, his voice softening into a genuine, warm tone, "you have been looking hot lately." Cheyenne smiled, a delicate blush coloring her cheeks. "Oh, you." Van seized the opportunity, wrapping his arms around his wife's waist. "Look, sweetie, why do not I tell her?" "Thank you," Cheyenne replied, leaning into his embrace, completely unaware of the dangerous mission her husband was trying to avoid. Suddenly, the front door burst open with a fanfare of creaking hinges and heavy footsteps. Reba marched into the room, her presence commanding immediate attention. In her hands, she held a massive, grease-stained cardboard box that radiated the heavenly aroma of baked cheese and rich tomato sauce. "Hey, hey, hey," Reba announced, her voice carrying the triumphant ring of a conquering hero. "Guess who Luigi gave the free pizza to? Luigi does not have to roll it out of the bed every morning." Cheyenne sighed, untangling herself from Van. "You know, Mom, we really do not need another pizza. I mean, it is really just the three of us." Reba waved off her daughter's concern with a flick of her wrist, setting the heavy box down on the kitchen counter. Oh, I know, but I had to take it. It was free. Somebody will eat it. Almost as if summoned by the magical incantation of free food, Van materialized beside the counter, his eyes locked on the cardboard prize. Oh, dibs, he declared, already reaching for a slice. Reba swatted his hand away gently, her expression shifting from triumphant to thoughtful. She looked at the greasy box, then at her family, and a sudden wave of clarity washed over her. The constant influx of junk food, the lethargy, the empty salt shakers, it all pointed to a lifestyle that needed a drastic overhaul. You know what, Mom? Cheyenne started, echoing her mother's unspoken thoughts. I am thinking maybe we should all try and get a little healthier around here. Reba nodded, a newfound determination settling in her chest. What are you talking about? Time for some weightlifting. Oh, good. Reba breathed a sigh of relief. That is enough of that stretching. Jordan clapped his hands loudly. Hello. Okay. Knock this out. Yeah, okay. All right. Reba took another step back, heading toward the exit. You know, I think I have seen enough. Barbara Jean sat up, looking disappointed. So, what do you think? You have any interest in getting a personal trainer? Only if he takes me out to dinner first. Reba shot back, her sarcastic defense mechanism fully activated. Are you sure, Reba? Barbara Jean pressed, totally oblivious to Reba's discomfort. Seriously, this is one of the best relationships I have ever had. Reba looked at Jordan, who was casually doing bicep curls with a dumbbell the size of a small dog. Oh, I think Jordan has his hands full with you. Oh, you are a beginner. Reba? Jordan chimed in, dropping the weight with a heavy thud. You will start with Dot. Dot. A woman who looked like she could chew nails for breakfast marched over. She was shorter than Jordan but easily twice as wide, with shoulders that strained the fabric of her tight shirt. Yeah, she barked. Jordan gestured toward Reba. This is Reba. She seems a little tense. I would spend some extra time on the stretching. Dot cracked her knuckles, a predatory smile spreading across her face. Hey, get down there. Reba did not wait to find out what Dot had in mind. She spun around and practically sprinted toward the glass doors, escaping into the fresh, non-sweaty air of the parking lot. When she finally made it back home, the house felt blissfully quiet. Brock was pacing the living room floor, jumping at the sound of the front door opening. He rushed over to her, his eyes wide with desperate anticipation. So, did you see him? He demanded, grabbing her arm. What is he like? Is he little? Could I take him? Reba pulled her arm away, leaning against the wall to catch her breath. He is big, but he is not as big as Dot. So, what do you think? Brock pressed, completely ignoring the comment about Dot. Is there something going on there? Reba sighed, walking into the kitchen and pouring herself a tall glass of tap water. She needed a moment to process what she had just witnessed. Look, Brock. I was hoping that I could go down to the gymnasium and check things out and come back and tell you that there is nothing to worry about. But that is it, Brock groaned, burying his face in his hands. Reba, come on, he pleaded. Okay, Reba admitted, taking a sip of water. I do not know if they are having an affair or not, but if they keep working out like that, they might be having a baby. Brock stared at her, the color draining from his face. Man, I knew there was something going on. Just then, the back door flew open, and Barbara Jean bounced into the kitchen, glowing with post-workout endorphins. Hey, everybody, she announced brightly. I am here, and I am saying well. She noticed the grim expressions on their faces. Oh, hi, honey. Brock stood up straight, his fists clenched at his sides. Do not you hi honey me. Barbara Jean looked confused, dropping her gym bag onto the floor. What are you talking about? Oh man, Brock scoffed, pacing angrily across the kitchen. Did you honestly think that I would not find out about you and Jordan? Barbara Jean's jaw dropped. What? We were working out. It was perfectly innocent. Brock turned to Reba, gesturing wildly. Reba, tell him what you saw. Reba held up her hands, backing away toward the hallway. I do not want to get involved. She said you are having an affair, Brock accused, pointing a trembling finger at his wife. Any more than I already am, Reba muttered under her breath, watching the drama unfold. Barbara Jean planted her hands on her hips, her eyes flashing with righteous indignation. Okay, Jordan and I are not having an affair. He is gay. The kitchen went dead silent. The only sound was the humming of the refrigerator. What? Brock stammered, the anger instantly evaporating, replaced by profound confusion. Barbara Jean turned to Reba, looking deeply offended. Reba, do you honestly think I would let a straight man grab my breasts? Brock let out a strangled gasp. Excuse me, he grabbed your breasts. He is gay, Barbara Jean repeated, as if this explained everything perfectly. He was not touching them. He was arranging them. She waved her hand dismissively. Carry on with your lives. No, Reba, Barbara Jean continued, turning her full attention to her friend. Her voice trembled slightly, hurt radiating from her eyes. Everything is not fine. I had no idea you were so threatened by the new me. The slim waist, the toned legs, the fellows. The fellows? Reba repeated incredulously. The girls, Barbara Jean corrected herself quickly, gesturing vaguely to her chest. Oh, the puppies. Reba crossed her arms over her chest, feeling a sudden defensive wall rise up. I am not threatened by you. Really? Barbara Jean challenged, taking a step closer. Yeah. Then why did you go down to the gymnasium? Barbara Jean demanded. What, were you spying on me? Reba hesitated for a fraction of a second. No, she sighed, dropping her arms. Okay. Yes. I went down to the gymnasium because I thought there was something going on between you and Jordan. Why would you think that? Barbara Jean asked, her voice cracking slightly. Because you have changed, Reba admitted, the truth finally spilling out. I have not, Barbara Jean protested weakly. Yes, you have, Reba insisted, her voice growing firmer. Ever since you lost all that weight, you are pushy and obnoxious, and you always want to be the center of attention. Barbara Jean looked at her, entirely unfazed by the insult. Hello? I have always been that way. Reba paused, considering this. She looked over at Brock, who gave a small, slow nod. She kind of has a point there. Yeah. Well, something has changed, Barbara Jean, Reba said softly, suddenly feeling very tired. Barbara Jean's expression softened. She looked at Reba, a sudden understanding dawning in her eyes. Yeah, the way you guys look at me, I am still the same Barbara Jean I always was. I am just less winded. Brock stepped forward, placing a gentle hand on his wife's shoulder. I know she might be right. Could be us. I am sorry, honey. Reba just got me all worked up. That is. He trailed off, looking apologetically at Reba. Reba took a deep breath, knowing she had to confess the ugly truth she had been hiding from herself. Look, Barbara Jean. The truth is I think I went down to the gymnasium almost hoping that I would find you doing something wrong. You know, anything. So I could feel superior to you and your skinny behind. She looked down at the floor, unable to meet her friend's eyes. So, I am sorry. The silence stretched for a moment. Then, an enormous, radiant smile broke across Barbara Jean's face. Sorry. Yeah, Reba said, confused by the reaction. This is great, Barbara Jean squealed, clapping her hands together. For the first time since we have known each other, you want to be me. I do not want to be you, Reba corrected her quickly. I know, Barbara Jean laughed, throwing her arms around Reba in a tight, suffocating hug. It is even better. You want to look like me. She released Reba, grabbing her gym bag from the floor. Hey, where are you going? Reba asked, smoothing down her shirt. Just going to go grab something to eat, Barbara Jean called out over her shoulder, skipping happily out the back door. I will see you next year. Reba watched her go, shaking her head with a weary smile. Some things, it seemed, would never change. Later that evening, the house was finally quiet. The chaotic energy of the day had settled into a peaceful stillness. In the living room, Van was sitting on the couch, staring blankly at the television screen. A young boy walked into the room holding a remote control. Hey, buddy, what are we watching? Van did not even look at him. No, we are not. Want a rock, paper, scissor for it? The boy challenged, holding out his fist. Let us go. Van sighed, holding up his own fist. They pumped their hands 3 times. As Van revealed his flat palm, the boy groaned. That is it, Brock interrupted, slamming his hand on the table. Reba, I need you to help me out. I want you to go down to the gymnasium and see if there is anything going on. Spy on him for me. No way. Reba rejected the idea instantly, crossing her arms. Barbara Jean may have a long list of faults, and I have that list if you need a copy. But she is nothing if not faithful. Yeah, right? Brock muttered bitterly. Up until now. But now that she is thin and hot, she has all kinds of options. Reba felt a pang of sympathy for the man. Despite their history, it was hard to see him so vulnerable. Look, Brock, if it is worrying you that much, be honest with her. Tell her how you feel. Tell her that you just need a hug every now and then. Brock let out a harsh, sarcastic laugh. Oh, now there is a great idea. See? Why, since my competition is a macho, muscular dude, I should go the other way and appear all weak and whiny. Your solutions are ridiculous. Reba makes me to spy on those stupid. He trailed off, muttering angrily to himself as he walked out of the room. Reba stood alone in the kitchen, looking at the empty space where her family had just been. She picked up a stray piece of spinach from the counter and tossed it into the trash. Hard to believe they are supposed to be good for you, she sighed. Later that afternoon, the neighborhood sidewalks were busy with activity. Reba walked out onto her front porch to find Van sitting on the steps, watching the world go by. Down the street, an elderly couple was briskly walking past, their arms pumping vigorously in the air. Hey, Mrs. H, you off for your power walk? Van called out to her, a teasing grin on his face. He watched the elderly couple with amusement. Man, I love old people. Power walking, moving along, swinging their arms, like there is a big sale for false teeth. Reba sat down next to him, letting out a long breath. No, I am not going for my power walk. This whole physical thing is getting everybody acting wacko. What do you mean? Van asked, turning to look at her. Well, your dad thinks that the guy who gave Barbara Jean her new body is wanting to take a forespin. He probably does. Van nodded sagely, as if discussing a profound philosophical truth. What are you talking about? Guys are pigs. They are dogs. They are all animals. They just care about hot women. They are hot dogs. Reba looked at him, completely unimpressed by his profound wisdom. Before she could respond, the front door opened, and Cheyenne stepped out. Her eyes were red, and she looked thoroughly miserable. My point is, Van continued, completely unaware of his wife standing right behind him, is that when you have got a hot lady, you have got to keep your guard up at all times. I used to, Cheyenne sniffled softly. Van froze, realizing his mistake. He spun around, his face a picture of panic. You used to? No, baby, do not take it like that. It is just that I have grown into a mature, stable individual. That is all. Cheyenne glared at him, a tear escaping down her cheek. Well, I do not like it. She turned on her heel and stormed back inside the house, slamming the door shut behind her. Van let out a long groan, rubbing his face with his hands. Where have you been? I went to get something to eat. Reba shook her head, feeling a headache coming on. Just then, Ben walked up the driveway, tossing a baseball into the air and catching it. Reba looked at him, desperately needing a voice of reason. So, Ben, you think that Brock might be right about this trainer? Ben caught the baseball and stopped, considering the question seriously. Sure, this guy could be hot for Barbara Jean, but since Barbara Jean is not looking to play, there is no problem, and it is obvious Barbara Jean is not looking. Why is this obvious? Reba asked, genuinely curious. 2 reasons, Ben explained, holding up a finger. Barbara Jean is not good at keeping secrets, and she thinks of you as her best friend. If she were fooling around with this guy, she would be constantly talking about him to you. Heck, she would probably even want you to meet him. Reba froze. A sudden memory of Barbara Jean begging her to come to the fitness center flashed in her mind. Meet him? Oh, she stood up abruptly. Where are you going? Ben asked, startled by her sudden movement. Go down to the gymnasium with the rest of the wackos, Reba declared, marching down the steps with a renewed sense of purpose. All right, Ben called after her. Well, keep those arms a-swinging. The fitness center was a sensory overload. Bright fluorescent lights glared down on rows of gleaming metal machines. The air was thick with the scent of rubber mats and sweat, underscored by a heavy, pulsing electronic beat pumping through hidden speakers. Mirrors lined every wall, reflecting dozens of people pushing their bodies to the absolute limit. Reba stood in the doorway, feeling completely out of place in her casual day clothes. Man, there is a lot of beautiful people around here, she muttered to herself, watching a woman run gracefully on a treadmill. You should see them naked in the shower. She navigated through the maze of weight benches and stationary bicycles, finally spotting a familiar head of blonde hair. Barbara Jean was lying on a padded mat, dressed in a sleek, colorful workout outfit. Standing over her was a tall, excessively muscular man with perfectly styled hair and a blindingly white smile. Hey! Reba called out awkwardly, approaching the mat. The muscular man turned, flashing his bright smile. Jordan. Hey! Reba repeated, nodding slightly. Ready to start, Barbara Jean? Jordan asked, turning his attention back to his client. Yeah. Barbara Jean panted slightly, looking up at him with pure adoration. Jordan smiled, his eyes traveling over her athletic wear. Hey, you look great in that outfit. Barbara Jean giggled, swatting at his leg playfully. Oh, well, the other woman is getting kind of baggy. She looked over and noticed Reba standing there. Can you believe her? She did the impossible. She lost all that weight and kept these fellows. She gestured toward Reba, clearly proud of her friend for showing up. Oh, okay, Jordan, this is my friend, Reba. Jordan extended a large, calloused hand. Hey, I am Jordan. Reba shook his hand, feeling the crushing strength in his grip. I am Reba. So, you going to join us, Reba? Jordan asked, his enthusiasm bordering on aggressive. Oh, I do not know, Reba stammered, taking a step back. I just think that me and my fellows will just watch for a while. Well, Reba, you are not going to get into shape by just watching, Jordan insisted, crossing his massive arms over his chest. You need to sweat a little. Yeah, but you guys have got to understand, Reba said, trying to find an excuse to escape. It has been a while since I have been in a gymnasium like this, and I do not think. Hello, there, Jordan interrupted, stepping over Barbara Jean to grab her leg. He lifted it high into the air, pushing it toward her shoulder. Barbara Jean, you really are getting limber. Remember when you could not put your leg over my head? He asked, pushing her leg even further. Barbara Jean groaned, her face turning red with effort. Remember when I did not want to? Reba watched this display of physical contortion with growing horror. Is that legal? I mean, necessary? It is critical to stretch the muscles out before you exercise them, Jordan explained calmly, completely unfazed by the awkwardness of the position. Yeah, otherwise you could really hurt something. Turn over. Barbara Jean obediently flipped onto her stomach. Reba, you need to watch this one, Barbara Jean called out, her voice muffled by the mat. This one is my favorite. Jordan knelt behind Barbara Jean, grabbing her arms and pulling them back firmly. All right, now, this gives a good stretch to the back and chest muscles. Really should do this once a day. Oh, I would do it all day if I could, Barbara Jean sighed blissfully. Reba felt her face flush with heat. The situation was definitely crossing the line from professional to profoundly inappropriate. You know, is this one of these gymnasiums that has the heat on real high? I am sweating. Okay. She tugged at her collar nervously. Oh, wow, Jordan said, releasing Barbara Jean's arms and standing on. Shine laughed, feigning resistance. I thought you did not want me to leave you alone. Van carried her toward the door, pausing for a moment to look back at the discarded blonde wig sitting on the chair. He smiled down at his wife, the only woman he would ever truly see. Sometimes, Van murmured softly, his eyes filled with absolute adoration, I want to feel new pretty. That woman is out of control. She's like a locust. She has eaten everything in the house. She's eaten everything in Mr. H's house. Look, even the salt and pepper shakers are empty. Why don't you just tell her she's eaten too much? You tell her. No, you tell her. Rock, paper, scissors. Ben, you know you're gonna lose. Not this time. 1, 2, 3. Dang it. How do you always beat me? Because you always pick scissors. Of course I do, it's my system. So you'll tell her? Yeah, fine. No, I don't want to. You tell her. Come on, you tell her. Please, please, please. No, Ben, why should I tell her? Because girls can say that kind of stuff without having to come across like all they care about are looks. By the way, you have been looking hot lately. Oh, you. Look, sweetie, why don't I tell her? Thank you. Hey, hey, hey. Guess who Luigi gave the free pizza to? Luigi doesn't have to roll it out of the bed every morning. You know, Mom, we really don't need another pizza. I mean, it's really just the three of us. Oh, I know, but I had to take it. It was free. Somebody will eat it. Oh, dibs. You know what, Mom? I'm thinking maybe we should all try and get a little healthier around here. What are you talking about? I'm very healthy. All right, that's it, Mrs. H. Drop it. Drop it, Mrs. H. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it, Mrs. H. I can't stand to see you do this to yourself. It's like you're trying to eat yourself to death. Why? What happened to you? What's different? You who? I'm here. And I'm thin. Yeah, thin is a stick and dumb is one. Yikes. What's eating Cooper grape? Look at that. They look like the number 10. Oh, thank God it was just a nightmare. You who? I'm here. And I'm thin. And the nightmare continues. My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I want to be, a single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops, with gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. I'm a survivor mom. Make us some pancakes. No, I'm making everyone a power smoothie. And this afternoon, I'm taking a power walk. Power walk? Oh, forget your power cane. Van, that is not nice. Mom does aerobics. She could shatter her hip. And yet, in the blink of an eye, I can make you both homeless. Hey, everybody. I'm here, and I'm... Oh, shut up and have a donut. Oh, Reba. You're not still trying to lose weight by drinking those power smoothies, are you? Jordan, my trainer, says that those are loaded with hidden carbs. Barbara Jean, I am all for adopting a healthy new lifestyle. But seriously, I mean, there has to be some sort of, will you stop staring at her? What? We've been staring at her for, like, the past 2 hours. Well, she's pretty. I'm pretty. Well, of course you are. You've always been pretty. But she's new pretty. Oh, Van, that is such a funny story you can tell to your next wife. Van, you really think that I'm new pretty? Oh yeah, you're like a bleached-out Halle Berry. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm gonna go make some calls. So, Barbara Jean. Yeah. Is it true that when you lose a bunch of weight, you want to do, bounce? Ka bounce. Van. Oh, Cheyenne, don't be upset. You're still hot. You're like a bleached-out Jan Brady. January Jan Brady. A Marcia. Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. So, Reba, I got an idea. You should come down to the gym and meet Jordan, my trainer. Seriously, he will change your life. I mean, he is so much more than a personal trainer. He taught me how to work out and eat right. We go over the clothes I'm gonna wear, the movies I'm gonna see. Well, the movies you're gonna see? What's that got to do with you getting in shape? Oh, nothing. We just have the same sense of humor. That Tim Allen just kills us. I mean, whether he's playing a dog or Santa Claus, you just buy it. So, you'll come meet Jordan? No. Oh, come on, Reba. I want my best girlfriend to meet my best boyfriend. Boyfriend? Oh, whoops. That came out wrong. Oh. Well, thanks anyway. But I'm just gonna be here with my smoothie. Delicious. Just like fruit gravy. Oh, hey, Barbara Jean. Here you are. Listen, how would you like to go out and grab a quick lunch? Just the two of us? Oh, honey, I can't. I'm going to the gym. Well, can't you skip it just this once? Come on. I'll take you to that romantic French place you like so much. Really? Skip the gym and eat French food? No confondu, brah. Man, she blew me off again. All she wants to do is go down to the gym and spend time with Jordan. Her trainer. Exactly. Frankly, I like the new but the new attitude, not so much. Oh, that's really funny coming from the old but. Jordan's so great. Jordan's so toned and funny. Well, I got news for you. Nobody's toned and funny. Rob, you're overreacting. Oh, really? Yeah, I think she might be having an affair with this guy. Barbara Jean with her trainer? I mean, sure, he's probably a better man than you are. Better looking and younger. But that's it. Reba, I need you to help me out. I want you to go down to the gym and see if there's anything going on. Spy on him for me. No way. Barbara Jean may have a long list of faults. And I have that list if you need a copy. But she is nothing if not faithful. Yeah, right. Up until now. But now that she's thin and hot, she has all kinds of options. Look, Brock, if it's worrying you that much, be honest with her. Tell her how you feel. Tell her that you just need a hug every now and then. Oh, now there's a great idea. See? Why, since my competition is a macho, muscular dude, I should go the other way and appear all weak and whiny. Your solutions are ridiculous. Reba makes me to spy on those. Stupid. Hard to believe they're supposed to be good for you. Hey, Mrs. H, you off for your power walk? Man, I love old people. Power walking, moving along, swinging their arms. Like there's a big sale for false teeth. No, I'm not going for my power walk. This whole physical thing is getting everybody acting wacko. What do you mean? Well, your dad thinks that the guy who gave Barbara Jean her new body is wanting to take a forespin. He probably does. What are you talking about? Guys are pigs. They're dogs. They're all animals. They just care about hot women. They're hot dogs. My point is that when you got a hot lady, you got to keep your guard up at all times. I used to. You used to? No, baby, don't take it like that. It's just that I've grown into a mature, stable individual. That's all. Well, I don't like it. Where have you been? I went to get something to eat. So, Ben, you think that Brock might be right about this trainer? Sure, this guy could be hot for Barbara Jean, but since Barbara Jean isn't looking to play, there's no problem. And it's obvious Barbara Jean isn't looking. Why is this obvious? 2 reasons. Barbara Jean isn't good at keeping secrets, and she thinks of you as her best friend. If she were fooling around with this guy, she'd be constantly talking about him to you. Heck, she'd probably even want you to meet him. Meet him? Oh, where are you going? Go down to the gym with the rest of the wackos. All right. Well, keep those arms a-swinging. Oh hey Reba, you came. Yeah. Man, there's a lot of beautiful people around here. You should see them naked in the shower. Hey, Jordan. Hey. Ready to start, Barbara Jean? Yeah. Hey, you look great in that outfit. Oh well, the other woman's getting kind of baggy. Can you believe her? She did the impossible. She lost all that weight and kept these fellas. Oh. Okay, Jordan. Jordan, this is my friend, Reba. Hey, I'm Jordan. I'm Reba. So, you gonna join us? Reba? Oh, I don't know. I just think that me and my fellows will just watch for a while. Well, Reba, you are not gonna get into shape by just watching. You need to sweat a little. Yeah, but you guys gotta understand, it's been a while since I've been in a gym like this, and I don't think. Hello, there. Barbara Jean, you really are getting limber. Remember when you couldn't put your leg over my head? Remember when I didn't want to? Is that legal? I mean, necessary? It's critical to stretch the muscles out before you exercise them. Yeah. Otherwise, you could really hurt something. I do not know if they are having an affair or not, but if they keep working out like that, they might be having a baby. Brock spun around, pointing an accusing finger at Barbara Jean. Man, I knew there was something going on. Barbara Jean looked up, confused by the sudden ambush. Hey, everybody. I am here and I am saying, well, oh hi honey. Do not you hi honey me? Brock growled. Barbara Jean blinked, her smile fading. What are you talking about? Oh man, Brock scoffed, pacing in front of her. Did you honestly think that I would not find out about you and Jordan? Barbara Jean's eyes widened in shock. What? We were working out. It was perfectly innocent. Brock turned to Reba. Reba, tell him what you saw. Reba took a step back, holding her hands up defensively. I do not want to get involved. She said you are having an affair? Brock shouted, losing the last bit of his composure. Any more than I already am, Reba muttered to herself. Barbara Jean stood up tall, her shoulders squared. She looked Brock dead in the eye. Okay, Jordan and I are not having an affair. She paused for dramatic effect. He is gay. The living room went dead silent. You could have heard a pin drop. Brock stood frozen, his mouth hanging slightly open. What? Barbara Jean turned to Reba, looking deeply offended. Reba, do you honestly think I would let a straight man grab my breasts? Brock choked on his own breath. Excuse me, he grabbed your breasts? He is gay. He was not touching them, Barbara Jean clarified, her tone filled with exasperation. He was arranging them. Carry on with your lives. She turned and began walking up the stairs, leaving Brock standing in the living room feeling like a complete fool. Reba let out a long, slow breath, turning to head back to the kitchen. But Barbara Jean stopped at the landing and turned around. No, Reba. Everything is not fine, Barbara Jean said, her voice trembling slightly with emotion. She walked back down the stairs, standing in front of Reba. I had no idea you were so threatened by the new me. Reba looked taken aback. The new you? Yes, Barbara Jean asserted, pointing to herself. The slim waist, the toned legs, the phallus. The phallus, Reba repeated, raising an eyebrow. The girls, Barbara Jean corrected herself. Oh, the puppies. Reba crossed her arms, her maternal pride flaring up. I am not threatened by you. Really? Barbara Jean challenged, tilting her head. Yeah, then why did you go down to the gym? What were you spying on me? Reba hesitated. She hated being caught in a lie. No. She looked away, unable to maintain eye contact. Okay. Yes. I went down to the gym because I thought there was something going on between you and Jordan. Why would you think that? Barbara Jean asked, her voice cracking slightly. She sounded genuinely hurt. Because you have changed, Reba stated bluntly. I have not. Yes, you have, Reba insisted, her voice rising in frustration. Ever since you lost all that weight, you are pushy and obnoxious, and you always want to be the center of attention. From the doorway of the kitchen, Brock muttered quietly, "Hello? She has always been that way." Reba pointed at Brock. She kind of got a point there. Yeah, well, something has changed, Barbara Jean, Reba continued, softening her tone slightly. Barbara Jean looked down at her hands, a profound sadness replacing her usual bubbly demeanor. Yeah, the way you guys look at me, I am still the same Barbara Jean I always was. I am just less winded. Reba felt a pang of guilt strike her heart. She looked at Barbara Jean, really looked at her, and realized the truth in her words. She was still the same sweet, naive, slightly overwhelming woman she had always been. The only thing that had changed was the packaging. Brock stepped forward, putting a comforting arm around his wife. I know she might be right. Could be us. I am sorry, honey. Reba just got me all worked up. That is. Reba started, but stopped herself. It was true. She had fed into Brock's paranoia, and for what? Look, Barbara Jean, Reba said, taking a step closer. She needed to confess to clear the air. The truth is, I think I went down to the gym almost hoping that I would find you doing something wrong. Barbara Jean looked up, tears welling in her eyes. You know, anything, so I could feel superior to you and your skinny butt. So, I am sorry. Sorry, Barbara Jean whispered, her tears instantly drying up. A massive, radiant smile spread across her face. Yeah, Reba nodded. This is great, Barbara Jean cheered, clapping her hands together. For the first time since we have known each other, you want to be me. Reba rolled her eyes, groaning internally. I do not want to be you. I know, Barbara Jean squealed with delight, practically vibrating with excitement. It is even better. You want to look like me. She threw her arms around Reba in a suffocating hug, then spun around and skipped toward the front door. Hey, where are you going? Brock asked, watching her leave. Just going to go grab something to eat, Barbara Jean called back happily. I will see you next year. With the crisis averted, the house finally settled into a peaceful evening. Upstairs, in their bedroom, Van was sitting on the edge of the bed, flipping through channels on the television. The events of the day had left a lingering tension in the air, a quiet insecurity that had seeped into the walls. Cheyenne walked into the room, her hands behind her back. She looked nervous, biting her lower lip. Hey, buddy, what are we watching? Cheyenne asked, trying to sound casual. Van looked at her, a playful grin on his face. No, we are not. Want a rock, paper, scissor for it? Let us go. You are going to pick scissors, are not you? Get out. Cheyenne laughed, swatting his shoulder. The playful banter eased her nerves slightly. She sat down next to him on the bed, taking a deep breath. Hey, honey. Hey, baby, Van replied softly, turning his attention away from the television. I need to talk to you. Van reached for the remote. Oh, honey, I just got the television. Cheyenne placed a hand over his. Well, I started thinking that maybe you do not think of me as new pretty because I do not do enough to keep your interest. Van's eyes widened in horror. No, honey, you were way hot. Guilty. Cheyenne smiled weakly, bringing her hands out from behind her back. But anyway, I thought that maybe I should, change my look every now and then just to keep things fresh. So, I bought a wig. She held up a bright blonde wig, a stark contrast to her natural hair color. It was a desperate attempt to capture the new pretty aesthetic that had so captivated the household earlier that day. Van looked at the wig, then looked into his wife's beautiful, insecure eyes. He reached out and gently took the wig from her hands, tossing it onto a nearby chair. "Cheyenne, put that down," Van said, his voice surprisingly firm but overwhelmingly tender. "Listen to me." He took both of her hands in his, leaning closer so she had nowhere to look but directly into his eyes. "I think it is a good thing that when I look at you, I do not see the beautiful girl with the killer bod," Van said softly. Cheyenne's face fell slightly, misunderstanding his meaning. But Van quickly continued, his thumb gently tracing the back of her hand. "I see my wife, and I am attracted to her whether she is all dressed up, ready to go out, or just sitting on the couch wearing those washed-up flannel pajamas." Cheyenne felt a lump form in her throat. "Really?" "Yeah." Van smiled, a look of pure, unadulterated love on his face. "You are beautiful to me because of who you are." Cheyenne leaned her head on his shoulder, a profound sense of peace washing over her. The insecurities of the day melted away, replaced by the warm, unshakable foundation of their love. "Ah, I feel kinda stupid." Van kissed the top of her head. "That is also who you are, and I love it." He stood up, pulling her to her feet with a gentle tug. "Come on, you," Van whispered, a mischievous glint in his eye. Cheyenne smiled, wrapping her arms around his waist. "Where are we going?" "Oh, we are going upstairs," Van declared, scooping her up into his arms. "Hold on. You off for your power walk?" Ben called out, scrubbing the hood with a soapy sponge. "Man, I love old people. Power walking, moving along, swinging their arms, like there is a big sale for false teeth." Reba crossed her arms, fixing him with a stern look. "No, I am not going for my power walk. This whole physical thing is getting everybody acting wacko." Ben stopped scrubbing. "What do you mean?" "Well, your dad thinks that the guy who gave Barbara Jean her new body is wanting to take a forespin. He probably does." Ben shook his head sagely. "What are you talking about? Guys are pigs. They are dogs. They are all animals. They just care about hot women. They are hot dogs." Reba sighed. "My point is that when you got a hot lady, you got to keep your guard up at all times." "I used to," Ben admitted softly. Reba looked at him softly. "You used to? No, baby, do not take it like that. It is just that I have grown into a mature, stable individual. That is all." Ben scrubbed at a stubborn spot on the windshield. "Well, I do not like it." Just then, Brock pulled into the driveway, stepping out of his car with a suspicious look on his face. He walked over to them. "Where have you been?" "I went to get something to eat," Ben replied casually. Brock looked at Reba. "So, Ben, you think that Brock might be right about this trainer?" Ben leaned against the wet car. "Sure, this guy could be hot for Barbara Jean, but since Barbara Jean is not looking to play, there is no problem, and it is obvious Barbara Jean is not looking." "Why is this obvious?" Brock demanded. "2 reasons," Ben explained, holding up his soapy fingers. "Barbara Jean is not good at keeping secrets, and she thinks of you as her best friend. Reba, if she were fooling around with this guy, she would be constantly talking about him to you. Heck, she would probably even want you to meet him." Reba's eyes widened. A chill ran down her spine as she remembered the conversation from that morning. "I want my best girlfriend to meet my best boyfriend." "Meet him," Reba whispered. "Oh." She turned on her heel and began marching purposefully toward her car. "Where are you going?" Brock called out after her. "Go down to the gym with the rest of the wackos," Reba shouted back over her shoulder. "All right," Brock smiled, feeling a sense of victory. "Well, keep those arms a-swinging." The Iron Asylum Fitness Center was a terrifying cathedral of sweat, chrome, and aggressively loud electronic dance music. When Reba walked through the glass double doors, she felt entirely out of place. She was wearing comfortable slacks and a loose blouse, while everyone around her seemed to be poured into neon spandex. She navigated her way past rows of treadmills and weight benches, keeping a low profile. Finally, she spotted her target in the stretching area. "Oh, hey, Reba, you came." It was Barbara Jean. She was wearing a matching turquoise athletic set that left very little to the imagination. She looked fantastic, and she knew it. "Yeah," Reba said, looking around nervously. "Man, there is a lot of beautiful people around here. You should see them naked in the shower." Barbara Jean giggled. Suddenly, a tall, incredibly muscular man with a perfectly sculpted face and a blinding white smile approached them. "Hey," the man said smoothly. "Jordan," Barbara Jean cooed. "Hey." "Ready to start, Barbara Jean?" Jordan asked, his voice deep and resonant. Yeah. "Hey, you look great in that outfit." Barbara Jean blushed, waving a hand modestly. "Oh, well, the other woman is getting kind of baggy." Reba watched the interaction, feeling a twinge of genuine concern for Brock. "Can you believe her?" Reba muttered to herself. She did the impossible. She lost all that weight and kept these fellas. Oh. Barbara Jean suddenly shrieked, bouncing on her toes. "Okay, Jordan, this is my friend, Reba." Jordan turned his megawatt smile toward Reba. "Hey, I am Jordan." "I am Reba," she replied cautiously, offering a stiff nod. "So, you going to join us, Reba?" Jordan asked, gesturing toward the soft blue exercise mats. Reba took a step back. "Oh, I do not know. I just think that me and my fellows will just watch for a while." "Well, Reba, you are not going to get into shape by just watching," Jordan advised, his tone perfectly professional. "You need to sweat a little." "Yeah, but you guys got to understand, it has been a while since I have been in a gym like this, and I do not think." Before Reba could finish her sentence, Jordan placed a hand gently on Barbara Jean's shoulder and guided her down onto the mat. "Hello, there, Barbara Jean, you really are getting limber." Reba watched in stunned silence as Jordan began assisting Barbara Jean with her stretches. The positions were, to a casual observer, incredibly intimate. "Remember when you could not put your leg over my head?" Jordan asked cheerfully, adjusting her posture. "Remember when I did not want to?" Barbara Jean laughed breathlessly. Reba's jaw practically hit the floor. Is that legal? I mean, necessary?" "It is critical to stretch the muscles out before you exercise them," Jordan explained calmly, not breaking a sweat. "Yeah, otherwise you could really hurt something." He tapped Barbara Jean's shoulder. "Turn over." Barbara Jean flipped onto her stomach. "Reba, you need to watch this one. This one is my favorite." Jordan knelt beside her, placing his hands firmly on her back. "All right, now, this gives a good stretch to the back and chest muscles. Really should do this once a day." "Oh, I would do it all day if I could," Barbara Jean moaned dramatically. Reba tugged at the collar of her blouse. The air in the gym suddenly felt incredibly stifling. Is this one of these gyms that has the heat on real high? I am sweating." Jordan clapped his hands together, standing up. "Okay, oh wow, time for some weightlifting." "Oh, good," Reba squeaked, immensely relieved that the stretching portion of the program was over. "That is enough of that stretching. Hello. Okay, knock this out." "Yeah, okay, all right. I think I have seen enough." She turned to leave, but Barbara Jean called out to her. "So, what do you think? You have any interest in getting a personal trainer?" "Only if he takes me out to dinner first," Reba muttered under her breath. "Are you sure, Reba?" Barbara Jean asked sincerely. "Seriously, this is one of the best relationships I have ever had." Reba looked from Barbara Jean to the impossibly handsome Jordan. "Oh, I think Jordan has his hands full with you. Oh, you are a beginner. Reba? Jordan noted, scanning the gym floor. You will start with Dot. Dot. A woman who looked like she could bench press a small pickup truck jogged over. She was intensely muscular, with a stern expression and a whistle around her neck. Yeah, Dot barked. This is Reba, Jordan introduced gently. She seems a little tense. I would spend some extra time on the stretching. Dot glared at Reba, pointing a muscular finger at the floor. Hey, get down there. Reba decided right then and there that her undercover mission was officially over. She bolted for the exit, not stopping until she was safely inside her car in the parking lot. When Reba returned home, Brock was waiting for her in the kitchen, pacing like a caged tiger. The moment she walked through the door, he pounced. So, did you see him? Brock demanded, his eyes wide with frantic energy. What is he like? Is he little? Could I take him? Reba leaned against the doorframe, still trying to catch her breath. He is big, but he is not as big as Dot. Brock waved off the confusing statement. So, what do you think? Is there something going on there? Reba walked over to the kitchen island, tracing the grain of the wood with her finger. Look, Brock. I was hoping that I could go down to the gym and check things out and come back and tell you that there is nothing to worry about. But Brock's face turned bright red. That is it. He stormed out of the kitchen, marching directly into the living room where Barbara Jean had just returned, her gym bag slung over her shoulder, a post-workout glow radiating from her skin. Reba, come on, Brock yelled over his shoulder, demanding an audience for his confrontation. Reba followed him reluctantly. Okay, radiant, glowing, and undeniably slender. She looked like a completely different person. And the nightmare continues, Reba muttered under her breath. To cope with the shock, a tune began to play in Reba's head, the soundtrack to her chaotic life. My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I want to be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops. With gentle hands and the heart of a fighter, I am a survivor. The chaotic morning routine commenced. The children bustled into the kitchen, entirely oblivious to the monumental shift in the household dynamics. Mom, make us some pancakes. One of them demanded, sliding into a chair at the breakfast table. Reba grabbed a blender from the counter with a sense of newfound purpose. No, I am making everyone a power smoothie. And this afternoon, I am taking a power walk. Van, who had just stumbled into the kitchen looking half asleep, chuckled. Power walk? Oh, forget your power cane. Van, that is not nice, Shine chided, swatting his arm playfully. Mom does aerobics. She could shatter her hip. Reba glared at them both, blending a concoction of spinach, kale, and something that looked suspiciously like tree bark. And yet, in the blink of an eye, I can make you both homeless. Before the argument could progress, Barbara Jean glided into the kitchen. There was a new bounce in her step, a radiant confidence that filled the room. Hey, everybody. I am here and I am. Oh, shut up and have a donut, Reba snapped playfully, handing her a glass filled with a questionable green liquid. Barbara Jean delicately pushed the glass away. Oh, Reba, you are not still trying to lose weight by drinking those power smoothies, are you? Jordan, my trainer, says that those are loaded with hidden carbohydrates. Reba stared at the glass in her hand. Barbara Jean, I am all for adopting a healthy new lifestyle, but seriously, I mean, there has to be some sort of balance. She paused, noticing that Van was staring blankly at Barbara Jean with his mouth slightly open. Will you stop staring at her? Van blinked, snapping out of his trance. What? We have been staring at her for, like, the past 2 hours. Well, she is pretty, Cheyenne admitted, though a shadow of insecurity flickered across her eyes. I am pretty, Reba said, leaning against the counter. Well, of course you are, Van agreed readily. You have always been pretty, but she is new pretty. The kitchen fell silent. Reba slowly turned to face Van, her expression perfectly unamused. Oh, Van, that is such a funny story you can tell to your next wife. Barbara Jean, entirely oblivious to the rising tension, touched her cheek with a manicured hand. Van, you really think that I am new pretty? Oh, yeah. Van nodded enthusiastically, digging his own grave deeper with every word. You are like a bleached-out Halle Berry. Barbara Jean beamed. Thank you. You are welcome, Van smiled proudly. I am going to go make some calls. He turned and exited the room, completely unaware of the domestic storm he had just brewed. With Van gone, the siblings crept closer to the kitchen island. Ben looked up at Barbara Jean with genuine curiosity. So, Barbara Jean. Yeah. Is it true that when you lose a bunch of weight you want to do, bounce? Ka bounce. Cheyenne gasped in horror. Van! Van poked his head back into the kitchen, looking confused. Oh, Cheyenne. Do not be upset. You are still hot. You are like a bleached-out Jan Brady. January Jan Brady. Cheyenne buried her face in her hands. I am Marcia. Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. As Cheyenne stormed out of the kitchen, Barbara Jean turned her attention back to Reba, her eyes sparkling with excitement. So, Reba, I got an idea. You should come down to the gym and meet Jordan, my trainer. Seriously, he will change your life. I mean, he is so much more than a personal trainer. He taught me how to work out and eat right. Reba took a slow, deliberate sip of her green smoothie, wincing slightly at the taste. Is that so? Oh, absolutely, Barbara Jean gushed, leaning closer. We go over the clothes I am going to wear, the movies I am going to see. Reba lowered her glass, her brow furrowing in confusion. Whoa, the movies you are going to see? What does that have to do with you getting in shape? Oh, nothing, Barbara Jean giggled, a schoolgirl blush dusting her cheeks. We just have the same sense of humor. That Tim Allen just kills us. I mean, whether he is playing a dog or Santa Claus, you just buy it. So, you will come meet Jordan. Reba shook her head firmly. No. Oh, come on, Reba, Barbara Jean pleaded, pouting slightly. I want my best girlfriend to meet my best boyfriend, she gasped, covering her mouth with her hand. Boyfriend? Oh, whoops, that came out wrong. Reba stared at her, a suspicion beginning to take root in her mind. Oh, well, thanks anyway. But I am just going to be here with my smoothie. Delicious, just like fruit gravy. Later that afternoon, the house had quieted down. Brock, Mr. H himself, was pacing the living room floor, looking incredibly distressed. When Barbara Jean floated down the stairs, carrying a gym bag and humming a cheerful tune, he stopped pacing. Oh, hey, Barbara Jean, Brock said, trying to sound casual. Here you are. Listen, how would you like to go out and grab a quick lunch? Just the two of us. Barbara Jean adjusted the strap of her bright pink gym bag. Oh, honey, I cannot. I am going to the gym. Brock's face fell. Well, cannot you skip it just this once? Come on. I will take you to that romantic French place you like so much. Barbara Jean stopped and considered this for a moment. Really? Skip the gym and eat French food? She laughed, a bright, tinkling sound. No confondu bras. She blew him a kiss and skipped out the front door, leaving Brock standing in the center of the room, looking utterly defeated. Reba walked into the living room, wiping her hands on a dish towel. She had witnessed the entire exchange. Man, she blew me off again, Brock muttered, running a hand through his hair. All she wants to do is go down to the gym and spend time with Jordan, her trainer. Exactly, Reba said softly, taking a seat on the sofa. Brock sighed heavily, collapsing into the armchair opposite her. Frankly, I like the new but but the new attitude not so much. Reba could not help but chuckle. Oh, that is really funny coming from the old butt. Brock ignored the jab. Jordan is so great. Jordan is so toned and funny. Well, I got news for you. Nobody is toned and funny. Brock, you are overreacting, Reba said, trying to be the voice of reason. Oh, really? Brock leaned forward, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. Yeah, I think she might be having an affair with this guy. Barbara Jean with her trainer? I mean, sure, he is probably a better man than I am, better looking and younger. But... Brock stood up and began pacing again. That is it. Reba, I need you to help me out. I want you to go down to the gym and see if there is anything going on. You know, spy on him for me. Reba stared at him in disbelief. No way, you know. Barbara Jean may have a long list of faults, and I have that list if you need a copy. But she is nothing if not faithful. Yeah, right? Brock scoffed. Up until now. But now that she is thin and hot, she has all kinds of options. Reba stood up, walking over to him and placing a comforting hand on his shoulder. Look, Brock, if it is worrying you that much, be honest with her. Tell her how you feel. Tell her that you just need a hug every now and then. Brock rolled his eyes dramatically. Oh, now there is a great idea. See? Why, since my competition is a macho, muscular dude, I should go the other way and appear all weak and whiny. Your solutions are ridiculous, Reba. He threw his hands up in the air and stormed out of the room, leaving Reba alone with her thoughts. She muttered to herself, makes me want to spy on those. Stupid. She looked down at the remaining half of her green smoothie sitting on the coffee table. Hard to believe they are supposed to be good for you. Out in the driveway, Reba found Ben washing his car. She decided a change of scenery would do her good. Hey, Mrs. H, closing the door softly behind him. I really need to talk to you for a minute. Oh, honey, I just finally got control of the television in here. Cheyenne complained gently, reaching for the remote control. Van gently took the remote from her hand and set it down on the dresser. Well, Cheyenne, I started thinking really hard about our earlier conversation downstairs. And I started thinking that maybe you feel like you do not think of me looking at you as new pretty. Because you feel like I do not do enough special things to keep your romantic interest in me. No, honey, Cheyenne smiled, turning around on her stool to face him. You are way hot. You have always been hot. Guilty as charged, Van grinned proudly, puffing out his chest slightly. But anyway, my point is, I thought that maybe I should try harder. You know, purposefully change my physical look every now and then just to keep things feeling fresh and exciting for you. So, I went out this afternoon and I bought a wig. Van reached behind his back and produced a bizarre, brightly colored synthetic hairpiece. Cheyenne burst into a fit of giggles. Cheyenne, please put that down, Van laughed, tossing the ridiculous wig onto the nearby chair. Listen to me seriously for a second. I think it is a genuinely good thing that when I look directly at you, I do not just see the beautiful young girl with the killer bod that everyone else sees. Cheyenne stopped laughing, her expression softening as she looked into her husband's earnest eyes. I see my wonderful wife, Van continued, his voice dropping to a tender whisper. And I am deeply attracted to her whether she is all dressed up in expensive clothes, ready to go out to a fancy restaurant, or whether she is just sitting quietly on the living room couch wearing those incredibly comfortable washed-up flannel pajamas that you love so much. Really? Cheyenne asked, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears of gratitude. Yeah, Van nodded firmly, kneeling down on the floor in front of her. You are incredibly beautiful to me simply because of exactly who you are on the inside. Ah, Cheyenne sighed, reaching out to stroke his cheek affectionately. I feel kinda stupid for getting so upset earlier. That is also exactly who you are, Van smiled, leaning into her touch. And I absolutely love it with all my heart. Come on, you. Van stood up and offered his hand to his wife. She took it gladly, letting him pull her up from the vanity stool. "Where are we going?" Cheyenne asked playfully as Van wrapped his arms around her waist. "Oh, we are definitely going right over there," Van whispered, nodding his head toward the large, comfortable bed in the center of the room. "Hold on a minute," Cheyenne teased, a mischievous sparkle in her eyes. "I thought you explicitly said you did not want me to leave you alone tonight." Van pulled her closer, burying his face in her neck and making her laugh. Sometimes, he murmured softly against her skin. "Sometimes, I really want to make you feel new, pretty." The afternoon sun filtered through the kitchen window, casting long, golden shadows across the pristine countertops of the suburban home. It was a kitchen designed for warmth, for large family gatherings, and for the comforting aroma of home-cooked meals. Today, however, it felt more like the scene of a meticulously executed heist. Ben stood before the open pantry, his eyes wide as he surveyed the barren shelves. Next to him, his sibling leaned against the kitchen island, sharing the same expression of profound disbelief. "That woman is out of control," Ben whispered, his voice laced with awe and a hint of genuine fear. "She is like a locust. She has eaten everything in the house." He pointed a trembling finger toward the upper shelves, which usually housed an array of snacks, cereals, and emergency provisions. They were swept clean. "She has eaten everything in Mr. H's house," his sibling chimed in, walking over to the dining table and picking up 2 small glass containers. "Look at this. Even the salt and pepper shakers are empty. Who eats plain salt and pepper?" Ben shook his head, closing the pantry door with a hollow thud. "Why do you not just tell her she has eaten too much?" "You tell her." "No, you tell her," Ben shot back, crossing his arms over his chest. "Rock, paper, scissors. And Ben, you know you are going to lose." Ben's eyes narrowed. The age-old method of conflict resolution was about to commence. He squared his shoulders, preparing for battle. "Not this time. 1, 2, 3. They threw their hands forward. Ben proudly displayed 2 extended fingers. His opponent held a flat, open palm. "Dang it," Ben groaned, dropping his hand in defeat. "How do you always beat me?" "Because you always pick scissors." "Of course I do," Ben defended, puffing out his chest. "It is my system. It is foolproof except for when it fails. So, you will tell her." "Yeah, fine," the sibling sighed, immediately regretting the victory. Then panic set in. "No, wait. I do not want to." "You tell her," Ben insisted, seizing the opportunity to escape the dreaded task. "Come on, you tell her. Please, please, please." Before the debate could escalate into a physical wrestling match, Reba walked into the kitchen. She carried an air of matriarchal authority, her presence instantly calming the chaotic energy of the room. She looked between the 2 panicked youths, raising an eyebrow. "No, Ben, why should I tell her?" the sibling pleaded, looking at Reba for salvation. "Because girls can say that kind of stuff without having to come across like all they care about are looks. By the way, you have been looking hot lately." Reba rolled her eyes, though a small smile tugged at the corners of her lips. "Oh, you. Look, sweetie, why do I not tell her?" "Thank you," the sibling gasped, practically melting into a puddle of relief on the floor. Just as the kitchen dispute settled, the front door burst open. Mrs. H. Barbara Jean to her friends, swept into the house with the force of a theatrical hurricane. She was holding a massive, flat cardboard box that radiated the heavenly scent of melted cheese and baked dough. "Hey, hey, hey," Barbara Jean announced, her voice ringing like a joyful bell. "Guess who Luigi gave the free pizza to? Luigi does not have to roll it out of the bed every morning." Reba sighed, stepping forward. "You know, Mom, we really do not need another pizza. I mean, it is really just the 3 of us here right now." Barbara Jean waved her hand dismissively, setting the giant box down on the center island. Oh, I know, but I had to take it. It was free. Somebody will eat it. Almost on cue, a chorus of dibs echoed from the living room. Reba crossed her arms, adopting a stance that signaled a serious conversation was about to take place. You know what, Mom? I am thinking maybe we should all try and get a little healthier around here. Barbara Jean stopped mid-reach for a slice of pepperoni. She looked at Reba, thoroughly offended. What are you talking about? I am very healthy. Reba took a deep breath. All right, that is it, Mrs. H. Drop it, Mrs. H. Drop it, drop it, drop it. Barbara Jean reluctantly let the cheesy slice fall back into the box. Drop it, Reba commanded one last time for good measure. Monsieur H. I cannot stand to see you do this to yourself. It is like you are trying to eat yourself to death. Why? What happened to you? What is different? Suddenly, the kitchen seemed to blur, and a vision of the past danced before Reba's eyes. A memory, perhaps, or a manifestation of her deepest anxieties. In this sudden daydream, a voice echoed through the house. You who? I am here, and I am thin. In Reba's mind's eye, the speaker appeared. It was Barbara Jean, but drastically changed. Yeah, thin as a stick, and dumb as one. A cynical voice in Reba's imagination replied. Yikes! Another imagined voice muttered. What is eating Cooper grape? Look at that. They look like the number 10. Reba shook her head, snapping back to reality. The kitchen was just a kitchen again. Oh, thank God it was just a nightmare, she whispered to herself, clutching her chest. But just as she exhaled a breath of relief, the front door swung open once more. You who? I am here, and I am thin. Reba froze. It was not a nightmare. The reality was standing right in her foyer. Barbara Jean had returned from an extended trip, and the transformation was nothing short of miraculous. The woman who had just moments ago existed in Reba's mind as a pizza-loving whirlwind was now standing before her, about. But Brock threw his hands in the air, a look of pure vindication crossing his face. That is it. I knew it. Reba held up a hand to stop his impending rant. Come on, Brock, listen to me. Okay. I honestly do not know for certain if they are actually having a physical affair or not. But I will say this. If those two keep working out together on the floor exactly like that, they might actually end up having a baby. Brock's face turned a dangerous shade of purple. Man, I absolutely knew there was something terrible going on behind my back. Just then, the front door swung open again, and Barbara Jean practically skipped into the living room, glowing with post-workout endorphins. Hey everybody, she called out cheerfully. I am here, and I am saying, well, hello. Oh, hi, honey, Brock said, his voice dripping with venomous sarcasm. Do not you dare hi honey me, Barbara Jean snapped, instantly sensing the hostility in the room. Her cheerful demeanor vanished, replaced by defensive anger. What exactly are you talking about, Brock? Oh man, Brock scoffed, crossing his arms and glaring at his wife. Did you honestly, truly think that I would not eventually find out all about you and this guy Jordan? What? Barbara Jean gasped, her eyes widening in shock. She looked from Brock to Reba and back again. We were just working out together. It was a completely, perfectly innocent physical fitness routine. Reba, please, tell him exactly what you saw down there. Reba sank deeper into the sofa cushions, pulling an imaginary invisibility cloak over her head. I really do not want to get involved in this marital dispute. She just told me that you two are having a full-blown affair, Brock yelled, pointing an accusing finger at Reba. Any more than I currently already am involved, Reba muttered quietly to herself, rubbing her temples. Okay, everybody just stop shouting and listen to me, Barbara Jean commanded, stamping her foot on the floor. Jordan and I are absolutely not having an romantic affair. He is completely gay. The silence that descended upon the living room was absolute. Brock's mouth hung open in shock. What? Brock finally managed to squeak out. Reba, Barbara Jean turned her angry gaze toward her friend. Do you honestly, in your heart, think I would ever let a straight, heterosexual man freely grab my breasts in a public fitness facility? Excuse me? Brock shouted, the purple color rushing back into his face. He actually grabbed your breasts? He is supposed to be gay. He was absolutely not touching them in a sexual manner, Barbara Jean explained defensively, throwing her hands up in exasperation. He was simply arranging them professionally so they would not get in the way of the heavy lifting. Carry on with your normal lives, people. Nothing to see here. She turned and began to march up the stairs, leaving the two of them standing in stunned silence. No, Reba. Barbara Jean stopped on the third step, turning back around, her voice thick with sudden emotion. Everything is definitely not fine here. I had absolutely no idea that you were feeling so deeply threatened by the new, improved version of me. Reba blinked in confusion. Threatened? What are you talking about? You know exactly what I am talking about, Barbara Jean continued, descending one step. You are jealous of the slim, narrow waist, the strong, toned legs, and most importantly, the phallus. The phallus? Reba asked, utterly bewildered. What phallus? The girls, Barbara Jean clarified, gesturing vaguely to her chest again. Oh, the puppies. I am absolutely not threatened by you or your puppies, Reba stated firmly, standing up from the sofa. Really? Barbara Jean challenged, crossing her arms over her chest. Yeah, really, Reba fired back. Then why exactly did you suddenly decide to go down to the fitness center today? Barbara Jean asked, her eyes narrowing suspiciously. What, were you secretly spying on me for him? No, Reba lied quickly, before sighing and dropping her shoulders in defeat. Okay, yes, fine. I went down to the gym because I truly thought there might actually be something going on between you and this Jordan guy. Why in the world would you ever think a terrible thing like that? Barbara Jean asked, looking genuinely hurt. Because you have changed, Barbara Jean, Reba said, her voice softer now. I have absolutely not changed, Barbara Jean insisted defensively. Yes, you really have, Reba countered, taking a step toward the stairs. Ever since you lost all that massive amount of weight, you have become incredibly pushy and obnoxious, and you constantly, always want to be the absolute center of everyone's attention in the room. Hello? Barbara Jean threw her hands up in the air. I have literally always been exactly that way. That is my entire personality. Brock, who had been watching the exchange like a tennis match, nodded slowly. She kind of actually has a very solid point right there, Reba. She has always been incredibly annoying. Yeah, well, something fundamental has definitely changed, Barbara Jean, Reba insisted, ignoring Brock's unhelpful commentary. Yeah, I know exactly what it is, Barbara Jean said quietly, looking down at the floor. The only thing that has changed is the specific way that you guys look at me now. I am still the exact same Barbara Jean I always was on the inside. I am just significantly less winded when I walk up a flight of stairs now. The truth of her words hung heavily in the air. Reba looked at Brock, and Brock looked at the floor. They both realized she was completely right. They had been treating her differently, projecting their own insecurities onto her newfound confidence. I know she might actually be right about this, Reba whispered to Brock. Could entirely be our own fault. I am truly sorry, honey, Brock said, stepping forward and taking his wife's hand gently. Reba just got me all worked up into a paranoid frenzy over nothing. That is the truth. Look, Barbara Jean, Reba sighed, running a hand through her hair. The ugly truth is, I think I actually went down to the gym today almost hoping that I would find you doing something terribly wrong. You know, anything bad at all. Why would you want that? Barbara Jean asked, her eyes searching Reba's face for an answer. So I could instantly feel superior to you and your perfect, skinny little butt, Reba admitted, a blush of shame creeping up her neck. So I am genuinely sorry. Barbara Jean stared at Reba for a long, silent moment. Then, Slowly, a massive, radiant smile spread across her face. Sorry? She asked, her voice trembling with sudden, overwhelming joy. Yeah, Reba nodded cautiously, unsure of what reaction to expect. This is absolutely great, Barbara Jean squealed, clapping her hands together in delight. For the very first time since we have known each other, since the very beginning of all this messy history, you actually want to be me. I do not want to be you, Reba corrected her quickly, her eyes widening in horror at the misunderstanding. I know, Barbara Jean gasped, ignoring Reba's denial completely. It is even better than that. You genuinely want to look exactly like me. Barbara Jean spun around and practically sprinted up the stairs, her laughter echoing through the hallway. Hey, where are you going now? Brock called out after her, completely bewildered by the sudden shift in mood. I am just going to go grab something heavy and delicious to eat, Barbara Jean shouted happily from the top floor. I will see you both next year. As the upstairs door slammed shut, Brock turned to Reba, a look of profound exhaustion on his face. Well, he sighed heavily. I am going to go home. Meanwhile, back in the quiet sanctuary of the upstairs bedroom, the youngest members of the chaotic household were having a much more peaceful afternoon. Ben was sitting cross-legged on the floor, deeply engrossed in a cartoon playing on the small television set. Hey, buddy, Van said softly, walking into the room and sitting down on the edge of the bed. What are we currently watching on the screen? No, we are not watching anything together, Ben said firmly, not taking his eyes off the television. I was here first. Want a quick game of rock, paper, scissors for control of the remote? Van challenged, holding up his fist with a confident smirk. Let us go right now. Ben slowly turned his head, fixing his brother-in-law with a look of utter disdain. You are definitely going to pick scissors again, are you not?
Van S' confident smirk vanished instantly.
Get out of my room, Ben demanded, pointing toward the door. Defeated by a small child once again, Van retreated to his own bedroom down the hall. He pushed open the door and found Cheyenne sitting at her vanity mirror. Hey, honey, Cheyenne greeted him warmly. Hey, baby, Van replied. Section. Yeah, Reba replied, walking cautiously across the rubberized floor, keeping a safe distance from the heavy machinery. Man, there are a whole lot of very beautiful, shiny people walking around here. You should see them all naked in the locker room showers, Barbara Jean said casually, adjusting her brightly colored spandex top. Reba closed her eyes for a brief second, wishing she could unhear that specific sentence. Hey, she said weakly. Just then, a man approached them. He possessed the kind of ridiculous physical perfection that usually only existed in comic books or heavily edited magazine spreads. His teeth were blindingly white. His hair was perfectly styled despite the athletic environment, and his muscles seemed to have their own separate muscles. Jordan, Barbara Jean beamed, gazing up at him with pure adoration. Hey, ready to start the session, Barbara Jean? Jordan asked, his voice smooth and professional. He looked her up and down approvingly. Hey, you look really great in that new outfit today. Oh, well, you know how it is, Barbara Jean giggled, blushing deeply. The other woman inside me is getting kind of baggy and loose. She turned to Reba, a conspiratorial whisper. Can you actually believe her? She did the completely impossible. She lost all that massive weight and still managed to keep these two fellas right here. Barbara Jean proudly gestured to her chest, bouncing slightly on her toes. Oh. Okay, Jordan, Barbara Jean said, finally settling down. Jordan, this is my absolute best friend in the world. Reba. Hey there, I am Jordan, the trainer said, offering Reba a smile that belonged in a toothpaste commercial. I am Reba, she replied, offering a stiff, awkward nod. So, are you going to join us for a session today, Reba? Jordan asked, gesturing to the empty space on the blue mat next to them. Oh, I do not know about that, Reba stammered, taking a step backward. I just think that me and my Fellows right here will just stand quietly and watch you two for a little while. Well, Reba, you are absolutely not going to get your body into prime shape by just standing there watching other people work, Jordan said, his tone turning slightly strict, like a teacher scolding a lazy student. You really need to sweat a little bit to see any real results. Yeah, I know, Reba countered, crossing her arms defensively. But you guys have to understand. It has been quite a long while since I have been inside a modern gym exactly like this one, and I honestly do not think. Before Reba could finish her excuse, Jordan had turned his attention completely back to his client. He placed his hands firmly on Barbara Jean's waist, guiding her gently down onto the blue exercise mat. "Hello? There?" Reba muttered to herself, her eyes widening as she watched the sudden physical contact. "Barbara Jean, you really are getting incredibly limber these days," Jordan praised, kneeling on the mat beside her. "Remember back in the beginning when you could not even put your right leg entirely over my head?" Barbara Jean laughed, a bright, joyous sound. "Remember the time when I absolutely did not want to?" Jordan countered playfully, his hands adjusting her leg with practiced, clinical precision. Reba watched, horrified and fascinated all at once. The stretching routine looked less like a fitness exercise and more like an incredibly complicated, highly inappropriate modern dance. Is that entirely legal?" Reba sputtered, pointing a shaking finger at the tangled limbs on the floor. "I mean, is that maneuver strictly necessary for physical health?" "It is absolutely critical to stretch all the major muscles completely out before you begin to exercise them vigorously," Jordan explained patiently, not even looking up from his task. "Yeah," Barbara Jean chimed in, her face flushed from the exertion. "Otherwise, you could really seriously hurt something important." "Turn over onto your stomach," Jordan instructed, patting the floor. "Reba, you really need to closely watch the specific one," Barbara Jean said, eagerly flipping over onto her stomach. "This stretch right here is my absolute favorite part of the entire routine." "All right," Jordan said, his voice dropping into a soothing, almost hypnotic rhythm. "Now, this movement gives a really excellent, deep stretch to the entire back and the major chest muscles. A person really should do this motion at least once every single day." Jordan straddled Barbara Jean's lower back, firmly grasping her shoulders and pulling them upward, arching her spine backward in a way that made Reba's own spine ache just looking at it. "Oh my goodness, I would happily do this all day long if I possibly could," Barbara Jean groaned, a sound of pure, unadulterated pleasure escaping her lips. Reba felt a sudden, overwhelming wave of heat wash over her face. She pulled nervously at the collar of her shirt. "You know," she said loudly, her voice cracking slightly, "is this gym one of these special, fancy places that has the internal heating thermostat turned up real high on purpose? Because I am suddenly sweating a whole lot right now." "Okay," Jordan said, gently lowering Barbara Jean back to the floor and standing up gracefully. "Oh wow, I think it is finally time for some serious weightlifting over at the benches." "Oh good." Reba breathed a massive sigh of relief. "That is quite enough of that very intimate stretching business. Hello, reality." "Okay, let us go knock this heavy lifting out," Jordan said, clapping his hands together to motivate his client. "Yeah, okay, all right." Reba took a few more steps backward toward the exit, needing to put as much distance as possible between herself and the confusing scene she had just witnessed. "You know what? I think I have definitely seen absolutely enough for one single day." "So what do you ultimately think?" Barbara Jean asked, jogging lightly in place. "Do you have any genuine interest in hiring yourself a personal trainer to help you out?" "Only if the man agrees to take me out to a nice dinner first," Reba muttered under her breath. "Are you entirely sure, Reba?" Barbara Jean asked, her expression turning surprisingly serious and sincere. "Seriously, Reba, this professional dynamic is honestly one of the absolute best, most supportive relationships I have ever had in my entire life." "Oh," Reba forced a tight, polite smile, I really think Jordan has his hands completely full just dealing with you and your routine. Oh, you are just a beginner. Reba? Barbara Jean waved a hand dismissively. You will not start your journey with someone as advanced as Jordan. You will start out working with Dot. Barbara Jean turned toward the heavy weightlifting section and cupped her hands around her mouth. Dot, she yelled at the top of her lungs. From the shadows of the squat racks, a figure emerged. Dot was a woman who appeared to be constructed entirely of solid granite and pure rage. She was exceptionally tall, incredibly wide, and had biceps that were roughly the size of Reba's entire head. She grunted loudly in acknowledgement, dropping 2 massive iron dumbbells to the floor with a terrifying crash. Yeah, Dot barked, her voice sounding like gravel being crushed in a blender. This right here is my good friend Reba. Barbara Jean introduced them cheerfully, completely ignoring Dot's intimidating aura. She seems just a little bit physically tense today. I would highly recommend you spend some extra, focused time on the floor stretching her out. Dot turned her intense, laser-like focus onto Reba. Hey, she commanded, pointing a massive, chalk-covered finger down at the blue exercise mat. Get down right there on the floor. Now. Reba did not wait to say goodbye. She turned and sprinted toward the glass double doors, fleeing the gym with the speed of an Olympic sprinter. The living room of Reba's house felt like a safe, quiet sanctuary compared to the horrors of the fitness center. Brock was practically pacing a trench into the carpet when Reba finally walked through the front door, gasping for breath. So, did you see him in person? Brock demanded immediately, grabbing Reba by the shoulders. What is the guy actually like? Is he physically little? Do you honestly think I could take him in a fair fight? Reba collapsed onto the sofa, holding a hand over her racing heart. He is quite big, Brock, she wheezed. But, to be fair, he is not nearly as big or terrifying as Dot. Brock looked confused but decided to press on with his interrogation. So, what is your final verdict? What do you really think? Is there actually something romantic or inappropriate going on down there between my wife and that man? Look, Brock, Reba said slowly, trying to gather her jumbled thoughts and articulate what she had witnessed without causing her ex-husband to have a full-blown heart attack right there on her rug. I was truly hoping that I could just go down to the local gym, check things out casually, and come right back here to tell you confidently that there is absolutely nothing for you to worry about.